Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Doran Park out here in beautiful Bourne, Massachusetts for another Cape Cod League Western Division showdown between your Hyannis Harborhawks at 14-22-3 and the Bourne Braves at 20-19. Game 40 of 44 games in the Cape Cod Collegiate regular season. And Chris, this is an important one as the Harborhawks make their final run through the end of the regular season and into the postseason.
Well, yeah, this is obviously another must-win for Hyannis with only now 5 games left on the season. You know, Wareham lost last night, and they're playing Orleans again. That's going to be another tough game for Wareham. And against the team in Bourne that Hyannis beat yesterday, big, they won big. This is a huge chance to draw even with Wareham and really make things interesting going into the final 4 days of the season, Chris.
Certainly is, and like you said, Chris, that matchup between Wareham and Orleans starting at 5:30. This one getting underway at 6 here from Doran Park in Bourne. So around the end of this game, Hyannis will have a very clear picture of where Bourne is going to be just coming into tomorrow, as Hyannis only trails Bourne now by 2 points in the Western Division. Hyannis in 5th place, currently out of the playoffs, and Wareham in 4th place, struggling to hold on to that last playoff spot as they've now lost 6 consecutive games.
Well, they actually, Chris, they've lost 7 straight games.
That's right.
Which is even worse. But this is a huge game, not only because of the points, but just because Hyannis has a chance to get on a roll here going down the stretch. And if they do make the playoffs, to go into the playoffs on a hot streak, which they'll have to do, they're not going to be able to limp into the playoffs, kind of like Wareham is doing right now. They're going to have to win games to get in. And so that will bode well for them if they make it, not only because they'll be hot, but they'll be gelled as a group. And this group, which is not the group you would expect, this group of hitters is the group that's really been getting it done. That 2 out of the last 4 games, excuse me, but they've won 3 out of 5, have the Harborhawks. And it's really been with this group of guys that you wouldn't expect to be in a lineup together.
True. And that group of guys for the Harborhawks actually took a 2-run edge in the run differential on the season series between Hyannis and the Bourne Braves. Bourne still leads that season series 3-2 as it is right now, but the Harborhawks finally jumping ahead with that 5-0 win yesterday to a 5-4 average win against the Bourne Braves, despite the losing record against their Western Division foe, who comes in at 1st place in the Western Division due to there's a little bit of a points foul up with Falmouth, who have already clinched a playoff spot, but that's because the Commodores have played 1 more game than the Bourne Braves, and we'll see who's really in 1st place once that kind of evens out.
Well, yeah, once the season ends, we'll know. I think I looked today, and Katuitt was somewhere like 1st place or 2nd place on the technicality of the points, and the points make everything weird. But at the end of the season, everybody's going to have the same amount of games played, so it's not going to matter.
Exactly. Although Hyannis might not have the same core group like you said, Chris. The Cavalry has come in. And in one form, it's Tyler Vaughn on the mound in only his 2nd start of the season. And in another, much more personally significant matter for the Harborhawks, it's Joe Sullivan, the catcher from LaSalle University, the bullpen catcher, getting the call-up, activated to the Hyannis Harborhawks roster after 4 years as an intern and bullpen catcher.
You know what? That is huge for Sullivan, and nobody feels better on this field than him. And he had a bunch of fans go over, and they were talking to him before. It's just such a big deal for him. And I really hope that he gets in a game this year, whether it be tonight or if the Harborhawks get into the playoffs or they're eliminated, maybe the last game. That would just be so cool to see him bat or play catcher for a few innings or the whole game. That's great.
Another heartwarming Cape kind of story, considering the fact that Thomas Russo, also a late-season pickup for Hyannis coming from the ICL, grew up a bat boy in the Cape League. Normally a fan of the YD Red Sox growing up, but certainly happy to don the orange and blue for the Harborhawks, which they are wearing right now. Their blue and orange away uniforms against the Bourne Braves. Once again, a Western Division matchup. Bourne in its white uniforms, red caps, red lettering with red sleeves. And this is a huge game for both squads, as Bourne is still 1 game away from clinching a playoff spot, while Hyannis fighting to stay alive and possibly tie the Wareham Gatemen for 4th place in the Western Division and really make the playoff push something to remember in Hyannis.
Well, again, a win is so necessary today. even if the Harbor Hawks lose and Wareham loses, it doesn't matter. That doesn't change the standings. It just means one less game. So the Harbor Hawks are going to have to win this game. The chances for Wareham to win are not high in Orleans. It's not. That's just because of how good Orleans is. Hyannis needs to take care of business and keep winning. I mean, I think they need to win 3 more games at least at this point.
Well, this is the batting order that the Harbor Hawks will be trying to take that edge with. Reese Hampton, the center fielder, number 13, out of Charlotte, will be batting leadoff. In the second spot, the junior out of Mississippi State, Hunter Stovall, playing second base today. In the 3 spot, the sophomore out of Florida Atlantic University, today's third baseman, Tyler Frank. Batting cleanup, Daniel Robinson, the junior out of Central Michigan, playing left field. Batting fifth, Ford Proctor, the shortstop, a junior at Rice University. In the 6th spot, DHing once again for the second day in a row, is Chris Proctor out of Duke University. Cesar Trejo is batting in the 7th spot, but we'll round that out after we take a listen to our national anthem and honor our troops, not only serving around the globe, but also our servicemen serving in the States as well. A beautiful rendition of our national anthem. Everybody giving one firm salute to the flag, blowing inward out in center field. Game 40 of the Cape Cod season between Hyannis and Bourne, and we'll get to the last 2 spots in the lineup, the last 3, I should say. Cesar Trejo out of University of North Carolina at Greensboro, playing right field. In the 8th spot, Thomas Russo, the first baseman from Holy Cross, going into his junior year, still looking for his first hit of the Cape season. Has his family in attendance tonight, so we're certainly hoping that he can give them something to remember. And in the 9th spot, rounding things out for the Harbor Hawks, Don DiCaprio, the junior out of Rice.
Well, Chris, I know you're going to go to the fielding alignment now and other things, but I have an update out of Orleans. Wareham has taken a 1-0 lead over the Firebirds. They took a 2-0 lead yesterday and gave it up, lost 7-4, but Wareham's up already.
Well, we'll see if the Wareham Gatemen can hold on to that one. That is a game we'll have to keep a close eye on out here from Doran Park, as Hyannis is battling to leapfrog Wareham for that 4th spot and bounce the Gatemen out of the playoffs. But Hyannis has to keep their eye on first things first, and that would be the Bourne Braves and pitcher Eli Krause, the senior out of Kent State. Been pretty good for the Bourne Braves so far on the year. An ERA of 3.09 in 4 starts, 20 and a third innings pitched, 15 strikeouts, 20 hits allowed over that time, but only 5 walks. You see right there, he's definitely a guy who likes to pitch to contact, and lining up behind him will be a defense trying to rob just about any hit that the Harbor Hawks can get. Catching him, of course, will be Zach Susi, the catcher out of UConn, an all-star this year. He sat out yesterday, but he's catching today. At first base, Scott Schreiber, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks killer out of Nebraska. Its second base is Andrew Frege, had an amazing play at second yesterday, snaring a line drive up the middle. Hyannis hoping it doesn't do similar things today. He's out of Sam Houston. Playing third base is Tyler Fitzgerald out of Louisville. The shortstop today is Anthony Prado in his second game of Cape action after making his debut as a pinch hitter yesterday. He's out of UConn. And from left to right in the outfield, you have Richard Palacios, the junior from Towson, in left field. Jameson Hanna, the junior from Dallas Baptist University, in center field. And in right, Grant Witherspoon out of Tulane. First pitch coming up here, Chris, and you have two similar guys going between the two Knights for the Bourne Braves. Eli Krause, much like the pitcher yesterday for the Bourne Braves in Brian Eichhorn, is a guy who throws strikes and tries to keep the ball not necessarily off the plate, but close enough to it so he can draw some hacks and some looking backwards Ks.
Well, this is the lineup that hit Bourne very hard yesterday. So hopefully they could piece it together and win one here, and they should be able to based on their performance yesterday, but day-to-day things change.
Eli Krause on the mound out of Kent State. Squares up the switch hitting Reese Hampton. Lefty kicks and fires. And Reese Hampton in the right-handed batter's box lofts the first pitch he sees high in the air down the right field line, and the catch is made by the right fielder Witherspoon, and this game is underway from Doran Park, Hyannis versus Bourne.
Well, Grant Witherspoon is going to have a bit of a tough time seeing the ball out there in right field for a bit with the sun out, but he shielded it well enough there to make the play. Right field is tough when it's sunny.
Certainly, and Reese Hampton is 0 for 1 on the day on the F9. One down here in the top of the first. Up to the plate comes Hunter Stovall at the right-hand side. The lefty deals. Called strike, little changeup over the outside corner. Count 0-1 on the junior from Mississippi State. The 0-1. High and away. Fastball misses, and the count is 1-1.
Chris, I got a few more scores. Katuitt up 1-0 on Falmouth, and Brewster is up on YD 1-0.
1-1. Flipped high in the air behind home plate. The catcher throws off of his mask, and Susi makes the catch for out number 2. Krause already making quick work of the Harbor Hawks. 2 up and 2 down here in the top of the first. Still scoreless from Doran Park. And here comes Tyler Frank.
That's too quick. Those are 2 quick outs. And that's not a great offensive start from the top of your order. The pop out to the catcher is never good.
No, sir. Hunter Stovall's 233 average and 120 at-bats. Doesn't advance on the season, but we'll see if Tyler Frank can advance his. He's batting 250 and 48 at-bats on the year, 10 RBIs. Steps up into the right-handed batter's box against the lefty out of Kent State. Here's the pitch. Just misses. Nice little frame job from Susi, but the changeup is ball 1.
You know, today coming in, Chris Proctor leads the team with an average of 328. Imagine that.
The backup catcher finally getting himself some looks. The 1-0. In on the hands and flipped foul down the first base line. Count is 1-1.
And we've seen him now play every day in the past few games, and he's still producing. So they can't keep his bat out of the lineup. You can't do it this late in the season when he's one of the guys that's really been clutch.
Exactly, and clutch is exactly what the Harbor Hawks are looking for coming down the stretch of this very tight Western Division regular season finale as Krause gets set for the 1-1. Nobody on, 2 down here in the top of the first. Here's the pitch. Inside, fastball, not spotting up. Count is 2-1. Bourne in its white home uniforms, red lettering across the chest. White pants and a red cap with a black bill completing the ensemble. Hyannis in their away blues, orange sleeves, orange lettering with white trim around the lettering, blue caps, orange bills, and blue batting helmets. The 2-1. High and away on the breaking pitch, counts 3-1. Daniel Robinson in the on-deck circle. He was the leading hitter for the Harbor Hawks for a while, but still batting a pretty solid 281 clip. He'll need Tyler Frank to get on if he wants to have any chance of advancing that here in the top of the first. There's 2 down, and here's the 3-1. Roped the other way, and that is a base hit over into left field. Tyler Frank actually pulling the ball right there. He rounds up around first base, stops there with a 2-out hit in the top of the first.
Well, ever since Tyler Frank's gotten back to the Harbor Hawks, he's been hitting the ball very well. He saw it perfectly, and I mean, line drives are some of the best hits, and that's just a great hit by Frank.
Exactly, breaking away from the 0 he had last night. Went 0 for 4 in the latter half of this, in the former half, I should say, of this 2-game set. Now Daniel Robinson from the left side scoring up the lefty. The first pitch, looping breaking ball for ball 1, a little bit low and inside. And again, Robinson batting 281 and 114 at-bats this season, 32 hits. Runner on first base, 1-0 count. The pitch.
Look out.
Fisted foul down the third base line. That one giving one of the Bourne Braves guys on the end of the dugout just a little bit of a scare. He's okay, though. Spun away from it. Count 1-1 on D-Rob out of Central Michigan going into his junior year there. Runner on first. And the pitch. Ball. Fastball doesn't spot up. A little bit low and inside. Count 2-1. Infield at double play depth. The shortstop, Prado, cheating over towards second base in the event of a steal. Tyler Frank with a 2-step lead and the pitch. Fisted the other way, foul. Slicing towards the stands down the left field line.
Well, we got a sec. I'll give you the umpires. The home plate umpires, Joe Caraco. John Leeds is down at first base, and Ron Adams is over at third today.
Thank you, Chris. Where are my manners? Not asking you for that earlier. 2-2 count, 2 down, runner on first, top of the first, and a throw back over from Kraus. Tyler Frank retreats. While we're at it, we'll give you the dimensions of the field, too. 330 down the left field line, 395 to dead center, and 300 over the right field line, 360 out to right center field. The 2-2. Fisted again the other way. This one loops foul just out of the reach of the third baseman, Fitzgerald.
Broken bat. Absolutely broken bat. The little sliver of it off the handle, and he'll need a new one.
Batgirl comes out to give him a fresh stick. Still looking for one, however. Looks like he'll borrow Chris Proctor's lumber. Knowing how Chris has been hitting over the last stretch. We'll see if any of that can rub off on D-Rob with a runner on first base. 2 down here, top of the first. Still scoreless in this Western Division matchup between the Harbor Hawks and the Bourne Braves. D-Rob coming up to the left-handed batter's box. Somebody who's just familiar with the grind. He knows his way of staying mentally fresh is just to come to the ballpark every day and try to have fun with it. The 2-2. Looped over towards the left field line. It's hooking foul, and it goes just foul down the left field line out of the reach of Palacios, the left fielder, who runs over to the foul line but just loses the hat and can't catch the baseball.
2-1 Falmouth over Katuitt, bottom of the third. Still 1-0 Wareham in the top of the third. Harwich and Chatham are scoreless in the third. So every team that played yesterday is playing the same team they played yesterday.
Trying to fit those conference matchups in before everything rounds out. D-Rob chokes up a little on the bat. 2-2 count, the pitch. Ball 3, low and away. Full count to D-Rob, who just says, around this time of the season, it is a little tough to get pumped up for a baseball game after you've played upwards of 100, but the playoff push certainly helping him. And Kraus motions over to first base, and a balk is called by the first base umpire because he didn't throw the ball.
Well, nobody was covering. Schreiber was not on the base, and there's nobody to throw to.
No, Kraus wanted to throw over there, and the lefty just had Schreiber sleeping. And now there's a runner on second base with 2 down. The payoff pitch coming to D-Rob. The senior from Kent State moves to the plate. And the junior from Central Michigan fouls it off. D-Rob staying alive, trying to keep the inning alive. 2 down, top of the first. Still scoreless from Doran Park. Chris Walker and myself, Chris Lucy, on the call here. Infield at double play depth, just looking for out number 3. Robinson loops his bat through the zone. Frank with a 2-step lead off second. The pitch. Ball 4. The curveball missing. And that brings D-Rob to first base for free. And with 2 down here in the top of the first, Ford Proctor steps up to the plate.
It's a great at-bat by Robinson right there. Fouled off pitch after pitch and won a big battle. Put 2 on and get Kraus in some early trouble.
Ford Proctor at the left-hand side against the lefty, batting .239 on the season, 113 at-bats. The pitch. Nipped foul just behind home, gets off the netting. Count 0-1 on the junior from Rice, up with runners on first and second and 2 down. Little 2-out rally brewing for the Harbor Hawks here at Doran Park, trying to take an early edge on the Braves.
In a filled Doran Park, Chris. Nice crowd today.
Oh, absolutely. The Braves can clinch a playoff spot tonight. Kraus to the set. The pitch. Called strike over the outer half. Ford thought about going, checked his swing, and either way, it was a strike. So a 2-out rally hangs in the balance. Runners on first and second. Kraus a pitch away from ending the threat for the Bourne Braves. The lefty kicks and fires.
Ooh.
And plunks Ford Proctor right in the upper arc of the back. That loads the bases with 2 down. And Chris, who else coming to the plate than the Harbor Hawks leader in batting average, Chris Proctor?
It's Mr. Clutch right here, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if he knocks in a couple with a hit here. It's been what he's done all season long, Chris.
20 hits in 61 at-bats on the season, 11 RBIs. He steps up to the left-handed batter's box with the bases loaded. Wind blowing in here from Doran Park, but the catcher from Duke in the DH spot tonight, trying to give the Harbor Hawks the edge. The pitch, hack and a miss. Kraus with a little changeup, fooling Chris Proctor. Count 0-1. Chris had himself 3 hits last night, a 3-for-4 game. Staying hot. Here's the 0-1. It's golfed high in the air, slicing towards left center field. Palacios, the left fielder, lazily ranges over, gloves it for out number 3. So the bases loaded situation here in the top of the first inning ends with 3 men stranded on base on a hit, a walk, and a hit by pitch. Chris Proctor ending things with the F7 and bringing Bourne into their offensive half, where Richard Palacios, Jameson Hanna, and Lyle Lynn are due up when we get back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network, so don't go anywhere. Hyannis and Bourne doing battle from Doran Park. Welcome back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network. I'm Chris Lucy. Chris Walker's my partner. And out on the mound is Tyler Vaughn for Hyannis. Right-hander out of Belmont University. Dazzled in his debut. 5 scoreless innings. And now he faces off against Richard Palacios, Jameson Hanna, and Lyle Lynn of the Bourne Braves. That's the top 3 of the order. Grant Witherspoon is in the 4th spot. Scott Schreiber in the 5th. Susie in the 6th. Tyler Fitzgerald in the 7th spot. Anthony Prado making his home debut for the Bourne Braves in the 8th spot. And in the 9th spot is Andrew Freejay. We'll get you the numbers on Vaughn as well. An ERA of 0 and only 1 game started. 5 innings pitched, 3 strikeouts. And the first pitch is a called strike to Palacios. Low and away. Count is 0-1.
And a player of the game in his very first outing as a Harbor Hawk. So It's a pretty good start.
Not too shabby. Throws ball 1 low and away. Same pitch, different result. Tyler Frank, the infielder, third baseman, creeping in on the grass. Here's the 1-1. Slow roller over to Ford Proctor at short, who backhands, throws across the diamond, and gets the runner by a step. Richard Palacios down on the 6-3 ground out to start the bottom of the first. And let's get you the fielding alignment before we move any further. Thomas Russo at first base, Hunter Stovall at second. You already know that Frank is at third, and we have Ford Proctor down at short. He just made the play there. Dom DiCaprio catching for Vaughn. And in the outfield, you have Daniel Robinson in left, Reese Hampton in center, and rounding things out, Cesar Trejo in right. Jameson Hanna at the plate. Takes ball 1 low and away. 1-0 is the count to the junior from Dallas Baptist. Facing off against Vaughn, going into his junior year at Belmont. The 1-0. And a miss. Changeup. Not timed up too well by Hanna. Counts 1-1. Righty lefty the pitch. Another one misses low and away. Count 2-1 on Hanna, who's batting .248 and 117 at-bats on the season. 29 hits, 13 runs scored. The 2-1. Called strike over the outside corner with the fastball, and Hanna, with the 2-2 count, is a strike away from taking sole possession of the team lead in strikeouts. He already has 30 on the season. Oh, that would actually move him into second place because Andrew Freejay has 40 above him as ball 3 sails in high and outside. Loaded count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 down. Still scoreless here in the bottom of the first from Doran Park. The pitch. Nibbled on the ground out to short again. Ford Proctor ranges in, tries to barehand, and the ball gets away from him. So that will be a single for Jameson Hanna.
Yes, it will be. They scored a base hit. That's a tough play for Ford. There's no way you can expect him to make that play. That would have been an incredible one if he did make it, but good try anyways.
Exactly, and Jameson Hanna had himself a big hit streak going into yesterday's game, 9 games. Had it snapped, but maybe starting a new one here. He's on first base. Thomas Russo holding him on. And Lyle Lynn up to the right-hand side of the plate against the right-hander out of Belmont. The junior from Arizona State. Ready for the first pitch, which is low and away for ball 1. Lynn leading the team in batting average, at least with his amount of play. My apologies again. That is Grant Williams who leads the team in average, but Lyle Lynn with a 308 clip, not too bad. The pitch. In on the hands and fisted down the right field line. That one dunks in for a base hit. Jameson Hanna advances to second base. Stopping up at first is Lyle Lynn with the second hit of the game for the Bourne Braves. 2 hits in a row after a quick out for Tyler Vaughn. And now here's Grant Witherspoon.
Well, that 2 hits in a row is something Bourne didn't do till the 9th inning last game. It's an improvement for them, but still not too big a deal for the Harbor Hawks and Vaughn. He's been in jams before, and he got out of them last start, and all he needs is a ground ball.
Lyle Lynn moving into sole possession of the sole possession of hits leader after that little knock right there. 38 on the season moves him ahead of Grant Williams, who leads the team in average. Now up comes Witherspoon. Righty on the mound, lefty at the plate. 2 on, 1 down. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. A nice off-speed offering from Vaughn. Counts 0-1.
Looks like a changeup. Beautiful.
Nicely done indeed. Double play depth from the infield. The 0-1. Low and inside. Count 1-1 on another off-speed pitch. That one missing the zone. Two men on. The 1-1. That one served foul down the left field line. Out of play. 1-2 count. Hyannis in a spot of trouble here in the bottom of the first. 1 down, 1-2 count. Runners on first and second. There's a quick out made right off the bat. Richard Palacios grounded into the 6-3 double play, but since 2 consecutive base hits. And the 1-2. That one nipped foul. comes off the guard behind home plate. Count is 1-2. Witherspoon batting .228 on the season, 36 games played, 123 at-bats. Leads the team in doubles with 10. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike three on a nasty breaking pitch from Vaughn, and there's 2 away here in the bottom of the first.
That's what Vaughn does. He comes back, gives up a few hits, and gets a big strikeout, and now he's just 1 out away from getting out of a jam in the first. Both pitchers doing a good job of getting out of jams in the first.
Well, he'll have to get out of this jam against Scott Schreiber. Schreiber, coming out of Nebraska, has 7 RBIs against the Hawks on the season. Runners on first and second. Here's the pitch. Golf foul down the first base line. That one makes the stands. 0-1 count. 2 down.
Wareham and Orleans in the top of the fourth. 1-0 Wareham.
Crucial game for the Harbor Hawks to keep an eye on as they're battling for that final playoff spot with the Gatemen. The 0-1. Hit high in the air down the right field line. This one chasing Trejo back towards foul territory, and it gets out of Doran Park, foul. 0-2 now the count to Schreiber, who is a few feet away, I'd say, from putting the Braves out to an early lead.
Oh boy, that would have been trouble. It would have been 3-0, and that's not what the Harbor Hawks would have needed. It would have kind of been a mirror of last night's game.
Yeah.
But it just sliced foul. Off the bat, I thought it was gone. Just a loud foul ball.
Very, very loud foul ball indeed. And now Schreiber comes back up to the plate. Righty on righty. The pitch. Cold, strike three on the 0-2. Nice little breaking pitch from Vaughn. Retires the side for the Bourne Braves and gets Hyannis out of what was a hairy-looking situation with a runner in scoring position. The 0-0 tie stands, and now we go into the top of the second where Cesar Trejo, Thomas Russo, and Dom DiCaprio, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the Harbor Hawks, are due up when we get back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Welcome back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Walker's my partner. I'm Chris Lucy. Cesar Trejo leading off the top of the second inning for Hyannis. Still knotted at 0 with the Bourne Braves in game number 40 of their season. 40 of 44. Trejo followed up by Thomas Russo and Dom DiCaprio. The righty Kraus. The lefty Kraus squares up the righty at the plate and throws ball 1. Breaking pitch missing high and away. 1-0 the count to Trejo. Batting 143 for the Harbor Hawks in only 11 games with the club, 21 at-bats. Now the 1-0. Called strike inside. Breaking pitch, fooling Trejo. Thought it was going to hit him, but jumps out of the way of strike 1. Trejo out of UNC Greensboro had his first multi-hit game for the Harbor Hawks just yesterday, the 1-1. Now high in the air behind home. And that one makes the stands just behind Chris Walker, still searching for his first souvenir of the season. I'm sorry, Chris.
That was as close as it gets right there. That was really as close as it gets.
It was, yeah.
A couple of them here have been real close to us.
They have been. That one, however, falling right into the lap of a new fan. Haven't seen him at any of our games yet this season, so good that he has a little something to remember the Hawks by. 1-2 is the count to Trejo. Kraus comes to the set. Lefty to the righty. Deals a swinging strike 3. Breaking pitch fools Trejo, who's looking out to the scoreboard in just amazement, probably at that pitch.
That's just a real good pitch. Good curveball right there. And our scout Joe saying I need to make a play on that ball. That's a tough play. I'd have to take the headset off.
Well, Thomas Russo puts his batting helmet on. He's in the left-handed batter's box. Takes strike 1 from, he's in the left-handed batter's box, pardon me. Takes strike 1 from the lefty. Nice little breaking pitch. Here's the 0-1. Hit the other way, and that one slicing right towards the left fielder Palacios, who grabs it for out number 2.
Well, another good start for Kraus, but with 2 outs last inning, he gave up a hit, a walk, and a hit batter. So Harbor Hawks are still kicking here with 2 away.
And Dom DiCaprio coming to the plate. The junior out of Rice, standing on the right-handed batter's box. The lefty to the set and the pitch. That one in on the hands and sent foul on the first base line. That one getting way out of the field of play here at Doran Park. Dom had an RBI single last night. Trying to get that batting average of his closer to 200. And here's the 0-1. Called strike. Breaking pitch brings the count to 0-2 on Dom, batting 189 in 74 at-bats, 14 hits on the season, 8 RBIs.
This is as high as his average has been, really.
Now the 0-2. Misses outside and high with the breaking pitch, and Kraus now with a 1-2 count.
I think the only time it was higher was in Brewster one game. He was 1 hit away from 200.
The 1-2. Just missing the strike zone with a breaking pitch there. Count 2-2. Low and away, but looked pretty good from Kraus.
Looked better than the other called strike.
2-2 now is the count. Infield at normal depth. Here's the pitch. Nub foul down the third base line. That one kicking into foul territory. Count remains 2-2. 2 down here in the top of the second inning. Hawks and Braves knotted at 0 from Doran Park in a crucial Western Division matchup as Hyannis is fighting to stay in the hunt for the playoffs and possibly its 4th CCBL championship. The 2-2. Low and away. Dom DiCaprio working his way out of an 0-2 count. Brings this one to 3-2. Dom with 11 walks on the season. Sends the 3-2, spinning back towards the net behind home plate. Count remains 3-2, but Chris, the one thing that's been the kryptonite for Dom is the strikeout. He's got 26 on the season.
No, you know what? That has been his problem. Hopefully he'll get a piece here.
3-2. All 4. No way for him to get a piece of that one. Almost hit him, but regardless, he gets out of the way and gets himself down to first base with a 2-out walk. Brings up Reese Hampton, top of the order for the Harbor Hawks. Still trying to take an edge here on the Bourne Braves. It's scoreless. We're in the top of the second inning. And the switch hitter on the right-hand side against the lefty. Kraus trying to get his way out of the inning. Here's the pitch. First one is just dribbled foul down the third base line.
The second straight inning, the Harbor Hawks have had 2-out life. So hopefully Hampton can continue it and get a couple more on base.
He's 0 for 1. Flew out to right field in his first at-bat. Kraus to the set, the 0-1. Called strike over the outer half. Nice little breaking pitch there. Brings the count to 0-2. And again, Hyannis a strike away from losing its 2-out life here in the top of the second inning. Kraus with the 0-2. Flipped the other way, foul down the first base line. Scott Schreiber has to dance out of the way, the first baseman. Holding on, Dom DiCaprio. Counts 0-2. Beautiful sunny evening here at Doran Park. You couldn't ask for a better day. Sun out and sky completely free of clouds. The 0-2. Grounded over to short. The shortstop, Prado, makes the easy play over to second base after gobbling up the grounder. Reese Hampton is 0 for 2 on the game, and Hyannis 0 for 2 with little 2-out situations with men on base. As now the Harbor Hawks go into the bottom of the second, where they'll try to send down Zach Susi, Tyler Fitzgerald, and Anthony Prado in order. Still scoreless from Doran Park. Welcome back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Walker's my partner. I'm Chris Lucy. Zach Susi, Tyler Fitzgerald, and Anthony Prado due up here in the bottom of the second inning. Still 0-0 from Doran Park between the Harbor Hawks and the Bourne Braves. Zach Susi coming up to the plate. He was an all-star for the Braves this year. One of 4 that they had. Steps up to the left-hand side of the plate against the right-hander, Tyler Vaughn. The pitch. Swung over, foul down the first base line. Count is 0-1 on Susi. Back in action for the first time since the 27th, where he hit 2 home runs against the Harwich Mariners. The 0-1. Called strike over the outside corner. Count is 0-2 to Susi, who on the season is batting .271 in 21 games, 70 at-bats.
Got some news. Orleans up 3-1 on Wareham in the bottom of the 4th.
Look at
2
that.
home runs.
The 0-2. Flip the other way, foul off the net behind home. Count 0-2. Wind blowing in here at Doran Park. Infield at normal depth. Hyannis trying to maintain a scoreless tie with the Bourne Braves. Vaughn to the set against Susi. Out of UConn, the pitch. Hit on the ground right back at Susi. He tries to get it, but it's a play up the middle from Ford Proctor, the shortstop, who ranges up the middle behind second base after the attempt at the backhand stab from the pitcher, Vaughn, and gets the out on a sensational show of defense, Chris. That was something else.
That was an incredible play. I didn't think there was a real good chance of that play being made, but Proctor's got the ability, and he makes it count.
Sends down the all-star as well. Brings up Tyler Fitzgerald. Batting .186 on the season. Stands at the right-hand side. The righty deals. Strike 1, swing in the dirt. 0-1 the count to Fitzgerald. 59 at-bats on the year. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2 is the count. Nice little off-speed offering. One down here in the bottom of the second inning. Vaughn gets a sign from Dom and the pitch. Clubbed on the ground back over to Ford Proctor. This one a bit of an easier one. Gobbles it up, throws across to get out number 2.
That's more of your routine 6-3.
To say the least.
Makes Ford a bit happier, but still 2 away, and Vaughn is looking pretty good.
Certainly is. Vaughn just trying to continue what has been a great season in the CCBL, albeit a short one, through 5 scoreless innings in his debut. Now comes up against Anthony Prado. The pitch, low and away. 1-0 count to today's shortstop out of UConn. The 1-0. Bouncer in the dirt again. Count 2-0 on Prado in his second game for the Bourne Braves, his home debut. The 2-0. Hit on the line and into left center field for a base hit. Daniel Robinson backhands it in the hole. The left fielder throws in. And Anthony Prado squares around first base with a 2-out hit.
That's a good piece of 2-out hitting right there by Prado. And we saw Prado, Chris, for the first time yesterday, and he didn't have a hit, but that's a great piece of 2-out hitting right there. Good bat on ball right there.
That's right. The scorekeeper asked him what his name was during the game yesterday, and Prado making a name for himself right there, his first hit of the season. Now here's Andrew Freejay. Runner goes, throw down to second in time. The tag not applied in time as Prado steals his first base of the season too with 2 down here and moves himself into scoring position for Andrew Freejay.
Nice try, though, by Stovall. He put a quick tag on just a bit too late.
Freejay at the plate, batting 176 and 102 at-bats, 18 hits on the season. Runner on second, 2 down. 1-0 is the count. Here's the pitch. Hit down the left field line through for a base hit. Anthony Prado rounding third base. The throw comes in, not in time to make one down to home plate. And Anthony Prado scores on an RBI single from Andrew Freejay with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. And the Bourne Braves are on top 1-0 from Doran Park.
Well, it's their first run they've scored in 2 games against the Harbor Hawks back-to-back days, but that's a big hit right there. That's a big hit with 2 outs again, and it's both teams hitting with 2 outs successfully in this game.
And now Bourne hitting around for the first time. It's Richard Palacios at the plate, righty on lefty. First pitch low and away. Ball 1 on the off-speed offering from Vaughn. Runner on first base is Freejay. That was his fastball, my apologies. Vaughn not much of a fireballer, so I had me fooled there. Here's the 1-0. Another fastball. Runner goes again. Freejay gets into second base as the throw gets away from Ford Proctor, the shortstop. However, Reese Hampton, the center fielder, quick to cover, flips the ball in and cuts off Freejay before he gets any ideas about third base.
That's just another good stolen base. That base was going to be stolen, I think, regardless. A good jump right there by Freejay, Chris.
Absolutely. And now with 2 outs, there's another runner in scoring position. Palacios 0 for 1. The pitch. Sliced foul down the third base line. 2-1 count now on Palacios out of Towson. A Brooklyn guy from a baseball family. Had his dad play in the pros and his uncle as well. The 2-1. Misses low and away. Counts 3-1. His older brother Josh is a ball player as well. Josh Palacios, drafted by the Reds in the 31st round back in 2014, but still playing at Auburn. The 3-1. Called strike over the inside corner, knee level. Tyler Vaughn a strike away from ending a rally for the Bourne Braves with 2 down here in the bottom of the second. It's 1-0 Bourne out here at Doran Park.
For Vaughn, you want to end it right here. You need to strike out or ground ball or anything to somebody.
The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. A strike 3 that brings Palacios to a knee on the swing. He really took a hack at it and can still feel that breeze from back here. 3 down here in the bottom of the second inning, but not before the Braves could break the scoreless tie. 2 hits, played a run for Bourne on 2 outs, no less, and bring Hyannis to the top of the third inning where Hunter Stovall, Tyler Frank, and Daniel Robinson are due up, trying to edge their way back into this game. It's 1-0 here from Doran Park on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. We're back on the Hyannis Arbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Walker's my partner. I'm Chris Lucy. Danny giving me a shout out from behind me out here at Doran Park. Love getting close to the fans here on the road. And Hyannis keeping it close with the Braves right now. It's 1-0, but up to the plate comes Hunter Stovall, Tyler Frank, and Daniel Robinson in the top of the third. Kraus, the lefty on the mound, the pitch. High and outside to Stovall in the right-handed batter's box. Count 1-0 on the junior from Mississippi State. Kraus with the 1-0. Here it comes. High and outside again. Counts 2-0 on the fastball that time. Hyannis in an important game here at Doran Park, trying to get a 2-game sweep in this late season series, the 2-0. Nubbed high in the air behind home plate. Chris Walker takes off his headset as that one goes way foul. Looked like it was coming towards us and that Chris could get his first souvenir, but
I was ready to run. I was ready to run.
No dice for Chris, unfortunately.
If it was any closer, I would have been over there. I would have made that play.
Any closer to the strike zone, Hunter Stovall might have sent it into the seats. 2-1 count. Here's the pitch. That one off his bat, foul again. Chris Walker, jumpy today. You really want that foul ball.
Well, this is the place you get it. The most foul balls come over here, so.
That's true. We're down the first base line here. And Hunter Stovall with a 2-2 count. Here's the pitch. Hit on the ground over to short. Hunter Stovall hustling down the line. Prado throws across in time to get Hunter Stovall, who grounded out to the shortstop there to start off the top of the third inning.
That's a good play right there by Schreiber. What a pick. That was a tough play, though, for Prado at short. He's kind of off balance, but he made a good throw.
Very nicely done, exactly, and brings up Tyler Frank. Stovall is 0 for 2 now off the ground out, and Tyler Frank is 1 for 1. Out of Florida Atlantic. Still rocking those new gloves he got from Brendan Donovan. Working a little bit of a trade there, and Frank has been really loaded up with gear all season as he got a fresh set of duds from Team USA on the college national team. Steps up to the right-handed batter's box against the lefty. Kraus, who kicks and deals. Ball one, low and away. Frank squared around for a bunt, but sucking it back as the third baseman Fitzgerald charged in from third base.
He squared around late, and he surprised the whole infield, which is certainly good. I wouldn't be surprised if he does it again.
Joe Caracco calls time, the home plate umpire, just making sure Frank is ready. And now he is. Kraus to the set and the 1-0. Smacked foul behind home plate, just off the tip of Frank's bat. 1-1 is the count to the sophomore at Florida Atlantic.
Frank already with a hit today. Advanced to second on a balk.
That's true. It was a 2-out hit as well. Comes up with 1 out here in the top of the third inning. Hawks versus Braves. Braves on top 1-0. Kraus taking his time, but now the 1-1. Just misses inside. Looked like it almost hit him. Looked like he wanted to make the argument that it did, but Joe Caracco giving him no love there. Counts 2-1 on the ball that just barely looked like it nicked his back foot. Infield playing straight away. Sun is out here on a cloudless afternoon from Bourne. 2-1. In the dirt outside, count 3-1. Kraus, not really one to walk people, Chris. He's got only 5 on the season, and he's pitched over 20 innings. Now has a 3-1 count. Lefty on righty. Here's the pitch. Called strike over the outside corner. Dotting the zone with a changeup.
Frank talking to the home plate umpire, Joe Caracco, just asking him. He wasn't really arguing.
No, had every right to ask. It was a close call. And now Frank is back in the right-handed batter's box. The lefty Kraus to the set. Here's the payoff pitch. Nubbed on the ground over to short. Prado charges in, throws across. One hopper over to Schreiber, who stretches, gloves it for out number 2 here in the top of the third inning.
Another low throw from Prado, but a nice play from Schreiber to stretch out and get that. I have another update out of Wareham, or out of Orleans. It's 5-1 Orleans. Another 2-run home run. They've hit 3 home runs in this game.
Wow.
5-1.
Orleans helping out the Harbor Hawks cause, but Hyannis needs to help out their own first. Daniel Robinson up with 2 outs here in the top of the third. Bourne on top, 1-0. Lefty, here's the pitch. Looping curveball for a ball high and tight. 1-0 is the count on D-Rob. Here's the 1-0. Sliced foul down the third base line brings Fitzgerald over towards the seats. The third baseman watches that one sail off the concession stand down the left field line.
Because imagine if Wareham loses again. That'll be 8 in a row. Can you imagine?
At the worst time of the season, too, I know. And, I mean, it's tough for them as they've lost some of the best pitching in the league.
And they're playing the best team 2 nights in a row.
Tough spot for that series, the 1-1. Dribbled on the ground, fair, up the hole on the right-hand side of the infield for a base hit. Daniel Robinson stops at first with a single. And with 2 outs, the Harbor Hawks have life again here in the top of the third inning.
Good hit from Robinson. He'd been sliding a bit with the average. He's down in the 280s now, but that's certainly a nice piece right there. And you mentioned, he said that it gets harder when the season drags on like this, but you got to keep your head down and make the most of it. He's 1 for 1 with a walk.
Exactly. Now brings up Ford Proctor. Lefty on lefty. And he gets hit again. Very frustrated. He was hit by a pitch earlier in the game. Exact same spot. Throws the bat in disgust down the first base line and gingerly walks down to first base. Advancing D-Rob to second. And again, Chris, with 2 down here in the top of the third inning, Hyannis with a runner in scoring position.
You're barking at the pitcher as well. I mean, you don't like getting hit once, but when you get hit twice in the same spot, that's uncalled for. I know it gets away from you, but you got to control your pitches.
Especially to the same guy, too. That just doesn't look good as Chris Proctor steps up. Was the last out of the first inning after Hyannis loaded the bases in that inning. Proctor flew out to left field. Now stands on the left-hand side against the lefty with a second chance of getting some offense going for Hyannis. The pitch. Hit high in the air, left center field gap again. This one chasing Palacios back to the wall. Hanna, the center fielder, converging with him, but the left fielder calling him off, making the play. And 2 situations for Chris Proctor to advance runners in scoring position, and he flies out to left field in both instances, dropping him to 0 for 2 on the game, bringing Hyannis into the bottom of the third inning to try and send down Jamison Hanna, Lyle Lynn, and Grant Witherspoon here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network. Bourne leads 1-0, but stick around. It's getting good here from Doran Park. Welcome back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network. I'm Chris Lucy, Chris Walker over to my right, and Jamison Hanna, Lyle Lynn, and Grant Witherspoon. Don't know why it's so difficult for me to pronounce that, but you know, what are you going to do? Up to face Tyler Vaughn, the right-hander for the Harbor Hawks. Hyannis trailing 1-0 here from Doran Park in a crucial Western Division showdown. The pitch called strike. Fastball running quite nicely from right to left over the outside corner. The righty squaring up the left-handed hitting Jamison Hanna. The 0-1. A called strike on the breaking ball outside corner. Hanna's 1 for 1, but in an 0-2 hole right here to start off the bottom of the third inning. The 0-2. Just misses high and outside. Tyler Vaughn getting to work quickly here in the bottom of the third, Chris. Not giving himself any chances to rest. The 1-2. Swung over on the ground down to Stovall at second base. He gobbles it up, casually throws over to first, and there's one away here in the bottom of the third.
That's a much better start for Vaughn. Recorded 2 outs in every inning, or at least the first batter in every inning. He needs to keep it that way.
He'll have to do so against Lyle Lynn, with a result he'll have to change as Lynn had a single in his first at-bat against Vaughn. Now he stands on the right-handed side, and the pitch. Fouled off his front foot. He shrugs as he walks out of the batter's box, just trying to shake it off. 0-1 is the count to the junior out of Arizona State. Scratch that. He's a sophomore at Arizona State, drafted in the 16th round by the Mariners this past season, the first Taiwanese player to ever be selected in the MLB draft.
That's awesome.
Seriously is. Not the first to be signed, as he decided to go back. The 0-1. Served out towards center field, right to Reese Hampton, the center fielder, who gloves it for out number 2. Allowed out from Lynn there. And Tyler Vaughn again getting 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the third. Faces off against Grant Witherspoon out of Tulane, who is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Steps up to the left-hand side of the plate against the righty Vaughn, who comes to the set and deals. A pitch that's clubbed one hopper right over to Ford Proctor at short. He double clutches, throws over to first, gets the out for out number 3, and that is 3 up and 3 down here in the bottom of the third inning. We'll take this to the top of the fourth. Cesar Trejo, Thomas Russo, and Dom DiCaprio due up on the Hyannis Arborhawks Digital Network. Down 1-0 here from Doran Park. But stick around. Hyannis will try to make this a game quite shortly. Welcome back on the Hyannis Arborhawks Digital Network. Chris Walker's my partner. I'm Chris Lucy. You might notice there's no music between our breaks. That's because, my bad, I forgot to pack our crowd mic, but it's all good. We were able to plug in a microphone through the little adapter we usually use to thread in our music between breaks, but it's okay. Cesar Trejo stepping up to the plate to start off the top of the fourth. He'll be followed by Thomas Russo and Dom DiCaprio still going against the left-hander out of Kent State, Eli Krause. The first pitch. Big breaking ball, misses outside and high to the righty out of UNCG. 1-0 is the count. And here's the pitch again. That one low and away. Fastball not spotting up, counts 2-0. Bourne on top, 1-0 here from Doran Park. Here's the 2-0. Swing and a miss on the fastball. That one completely fooling Cesar Trejo, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Counts 2-1.
Well, he's taking those big swings again. That was a big swing right there. His helmet came off.
Exactly. They had a much better game yesterday, the 2-1. Called strike over the outside corner. Breaking pitch just nicking the outer half of the plate. Count an even 2 balls, 2 strikes on Trejo. Trying to keep the momentum going from a great game yesterday. His first multi-hit game as a Hawk, the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Tried to get out front of one, way outside, and just kind of flung his hands at it. He goes down swinging for out number 1 here in the top of the 4th inning. Brings up Thomas Russo, still in search of his first hit as a Harbor Hawk.
This is a good time to get it. Only 1 out and team down 1-0.
Exactly. Russo 0 for 1 today. His parents also in attendance. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Lefty on the mound, lefty at the plate. Russo, proverbial black sheep in his family, going to Holy Cross with a family of almost all Boston College alumni, as the 0-1 is swung over and dribbled over towards first base. The first baseman Schreiber tries to flip over to the covering pitcher Kraus, who can't handle the ball, and Russo is safe at first base. We'll wait on the official scorer for that one. Is that Russo's first hit of the game? We're still waiting.
Yes, it is.
It is Thomas Russo with his first hit as a Harbor Hawk, his first hit as a Cape Cod collegiate baseball player. Stands on first base. The former bat boy for the YD Red Sox having it all come full circle. As Don DiCaprio steps up to the right-handed batter's box, Russo on first. Fresh count. And here is the pitch. Swing and a miss. The righty at the plate waves at the first offering from the lefty. 0-1 count. And Chris, we talk about things coming full circle. Big moment for Russo there, and a huge moment for Joe Sullivan yesterday, the Harbor Hawks bullpen catcher, getting the promotion to the active roster. The 0-1. Golfed high in the air out to left center field. Jameson Hanna, the center fielder, calls off Richie Palacios, the left fielder, and makes the play for out number 2 here in the top of the 4th. Hyannis still down 1-0 to the Bourne Braves.
Well, it's still a chance for Reese here, who's 0 for 2, to make something happen. And the Harbor Hawks have done well with 2 outs in this game, so here's hoping they can continue that.
Reese, the switch hitter, still picking the right side against the lefty. Runner on first, 2 down. The pitch, and first a throw back over. Thomas Russo scurrying back in. Usually playing third base for the Holy Cross Crusaders, but for the Harbor Hawks, he's been playing first and doing a fine job. The pitch. Golfed high in the air again out towards center field. Jameson Hanna, the center fielder, lazily prances over to it, makes the catch. And that is 3 outs in the top of the 4th inning. Hyannis able to spruce it up a little bit with a hit from Thomas Russo, the first of his CCBL career. But other than that, nothing doing in the top of the 4th, so we head to the bottom where Scott Schreiber, Zach Susi, and Tyler Fitzgerald are due up. The 5, 6, and 7 hitters for Bourne up 1-0 on the Harbor Hawks when we get back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. We're back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Walker's my broadcast partner. I'm Chris Lucy. Pretty much all of the interns out here that have followed us on the road are conspiring against us, sending us text messages to distract us during our broadcast. But never fear, Scott Schreiber, Zach Susi, and Tyler Fitzgerald have our attention. They're the 5, 6, and 7 hitters for the Bourne Braves. Schreiber takes ball 1 from Tyler Vaughn. Back out for his 4th inning of work. Still behind 1-0 to the Bourne Braves. And here's the 1-0. Big swing and a miss from the righty Schreiber against the right-hander Vaughn.
Boy, that changeup's been really looking good for Vaughn today, Chris.
Indeed. Getting right over the outer half there. Here's the 1-1. Clubbed on the ground over to Ford Proctor at short. He ranges over, throws across the diamond, and there's out number 1. The 2017 draft pick by the Tampa Bay Rays, down for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Orleans is now up 5-4 on Wareham. Wareham has cut it to a one-run ball game in Orleans.
Wow.
Jake Anchia, 2-run home run.
One of the bigger games of the season, obviously, for the Gatemen, trying to break that 7-game skid, and big for the Harbor Hawks, too. The first pitch to Susi, called strike. Inner half, nice little change up there. 0-1 is the count to the catcher out of Yukon. Standing in the left-handed batter's box against the righty Vaughn. Here's the 0-1. Low and away. Fastball misses. Counts 1-1.
How about that out there in Orleans, though? What a game.
Exactly, and it's a huge one for the Harbor Hawks. The 1-1. Looped the other way and up the hole on the left side. Ford Proctor, bare hands, throws across the diamond, and the shortstop cannot get Zach Susi for out number 2, but what an exceptional show of range from Ford Proctor, getting all the way to the hole.
I thought that was going to be through into the outfield for an easy base hit. What a play by Proctor. There was really nothing he could have done to make that a better play because he almost got the runner out.
Seriously, beating Susi by just about, well, Susi beating him by just about 2 steps, but
unbelievable.
Seriously, and now here's Tyler Fitzgerald at the right-hand side against the righty Vaughn. Runner on first base. 1 down here in the bottom of the 4th. The pitch. Roped over to Ford Proctor, who throws over to first. The shortstop unable, however, to get the double play. And Fitzgerald is down for out number 2.
All right, Dylan getting all excited about this game. He's really become a true Harbor Hawks fan. He loves this team, and he wants every play to be an out or a hit for our guys, and it's cool to see. And he was all standing up at that catch by Proctor. That was a good play.
Proctor really has been flashing the leather today. Anthony Prado at the plate. And the Yukon Husky takes strike 1 over the inside corner. Nice little breaking pitch from Vaughn. And, of course, our beat writer Dylan also keeping an eye on the Wareham game, hoping the Gatemen lose, as that would possibly help Hyannis big, as the 0-1 is roasted out down the right field line and caught by a ranging right fielder, Cesar Trejo, for out number 3. So again, 1 hit, but nothing doing for the Bourne Braves here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Bourne on top 1-0 as we head to the top of the 5th, where Hunter Stovall, Tyler Frank, and Daniel Robinson are due up for Hyannis. So stick around on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. We're back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. I'm Chris Lucy. He's Chris Walker, and Hunter Stovall, Tyler Frank, and Daniel Robinson are due up for the Harbor Hawks. The 2 through 4 spots in the Harbor Hawks order against Eli Krause, who has really just held the Harbor Hawks in check today. Only 3 hits as he comes into his 5th inning of work. Hunter Stovall is 0 for 2. Lefty on righty. Here's the pitch. And Hunter Stovall flips it foul behind home plate down the first base line just a ways. 0-1 is the count. Hyannis trying to fight their way back into the playoff picture, the 0-1. Big swing and a miss from Stovall at a breaking pitch almost in the dirt on the outside corner. 0-2 is the count. Kraus to the set. Here's the pitch. Hit right up the middle and through for a base hit. Hunter Stovall breaking the hitless spell here for himself at Doran Park. Squares around with a single to lead off the top of the 5th inning.
Well, Kraus hasn't had the easiest day out there. He's given up a hit in every inning except the second, and he's allowed multiple base runners a few times. So this is a good chance for the Harbor Hawks, getting the leadoff man on to do some damage.
True, but Hyannis also not really coming through with those opportunities as they've left 6 men on base. And we're only here in the top of the 5th. Now here's Tyler Frank, 1 for 2 with a single. At the right-hand side of the plate, Hunter Stovall with the lead off of first base. Here's the pitch. Frank squares around for a bunt, tries to drag it, but goes all the way around at strike 1. Infield now privy to Chad Gassman's design as he gives a couple more signs to Frank standing in the right-handed batter's box. Bourne on top, 1-0 here from Doran Park. Sun still out, lights yet to come on. The 0-1. High and outside, Tyler Frank not showing bunt there, taking ball 1 all the way. Healthy crowd here in Bourne, as always. Mostly down the third base line. Coming with lawn chairs, beach towels, and the like. Snap throw back over to first. Hunter Stovall back in safely. Got himself a single. And not a guy that tries to go station to station, even since the beginning, but had to settle for it there. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2 on the fastball from Kraus. And I say that because Eric Stovall, Hunter's dad, told me a story the other day when he was last here that Hunter, back when he got his start in baseball, played at the local YMCA as he's chased back over to first base. And you could only advance station to station as you got hits. And it didn't sit well with Hunter. The 1-2. Runner goes, and Hunter Stovall is caught in a rundown. Throw over to second base. He slides in and is tagged out by the shortstop Prado for out number 1 in the 5th inning.
That's a tough break for Hyannis right there. You get the leadoff man on, and then he's erased. You don't want to do that as a leadoff man and get out, getting picked off. That's a tough out. And with a 1-2 count, you could have 2 outs and 1 at bat. That's not good. Not good base running.
Not at all. And a 1-2 count on Tyler Frank. Complexion of this inning completely getting a change. Now the infield just retreats to its normal depth. The 1-2. Well outside with the breaking pitch. A little bit low as well. Count 2-2. Lefty Kraus against the right-handed hitting Frank. Bourne still out front, 1-0. Kraus to the set, taking his time. Here's the 2-2. Flipped foul just behind home. Count remains 2-2 as Tyler Frank fights to stay alive. Getting the chance to play every day for the Harbor Hawks, which he couldn't really say for his stint with Team USA, as he'd get in midway through games, he'd get a start here and there, but didn't have the chance to get the momentum that he's gotten here for Hyannis. And crucial, it's been. He's batting .250. And now the 2-2. Eye-level fastball, count 3-2. And Chris, he's really grateful that he's gotten the opportunity to come back to Hyannis, as he started the season with the Harbor Hawks before getting the chance to catch on with the national team.
They could have used his bat the whole time, though. He's been hitting very well.
And now awaits the payoff pitch from Kraus, who's in the set but steps off the rubber. Now Kraus is back. And time called by Joe Caraco. Tyler Frank just waging a little bit of mental warfare with the senior out of Kent State. Daniel Robinson on deck. 1 down here in the top of the 5th inning. Hyannis down by a run. The payoff pitch. Hit on the ground over to third base. Fitzgerald gloves it, throws across, and gets the runner for out number 2 here in the 5th inning.
And that's just what happens when the leadoff man gets picked off. Instead of having 1 on and 1 out, now there's nobody on and 2 outs. That hopefully won't come back to bite the Harbor Hawks, but in a 1-0 game, that's a big runner.
Seriously, and in a big game, no less. Hyannis still trying to get their way into the playoffs. Here's Daniel Robinson at the plate. Lefty deals to the lefty. A big swinging strike. 0-1 is the count. Wareham in 4th place, Hyannis in 5th. Only 2 points separating the 2 ball clubs, Chris, but Wareham is losing right now, and so are the Harbor Hawks.
Both by 1 run.
The 0-1. Called strike over the inner half. 0-2 is the count. Robinson in dangerous territory here. Pitch away from strikeout number 17 on the season. Already 1 for 1 with a walk. Here's the 0-2. Swung over and hit on the ground off the lip of the infield grass past the second baseman Free J into right field. We'll wait on the official score right there as the throw in from right field also gets away from Free J.
That should be an error.
It looked like it should have been. It was a weird play, and especially with the sun coming in into Free J's eyes, they call it an error, which is pretty merciful right there, I'd say, as Free J could have made a play right there.
Yes. I hope Ford doesn't get hit again.
Proctor in the left-handed batter's box. Kraus, the lefty, squares him up, looks back the runner at first, and deals. Breaking pitch for a strike over the outer half. Curveball. Count 0-1. Robinson with a 2-step lead off of first. Infield now at double play depth. The shortstop, Prado, shaded over towards short in the event Robinson tries to steal. Throw back over to first. Robinson trots in safely. Still beautiful and still daylight out here at Doran Park. Sun bathing most of the field. Shadows cast over the first base line in left field. Runner goes. Throw down to second. Not in time. Daniel Robinson headfirst slide in easily. And that is his 10th stolen base of the year. Puts him in scoring position with an 0-2 count on Ford Proctor. The pitch was a strike. 2 down here in the top of the 5th inning. Hyannis trying to cut into a very slim Braves lead. They only have a 1-0 edge.
And Robinson's been in scoring position all 3 times he's been up too.
Certainly has been. Lefty on lefty. Here's the pitch. Flipped foul down the third base line. Ford Proctor sending strike 3 the other way into foul territory and staying alive.
There's a friendly Sunday at stake if you get a foul ball. That's probably why I've been jumping up.
Something like that. And a friendly Sunday will have you jumping even more.
That's right.
Get your sugar rush going after the game. Oh, like we need that.
One.
Yeah. Ford Proctor, the 0-2. Hit the other way into left center field. It dunks in for a base hit. Daniel Robinson rounding third base. The throw into the infield is in time, but it gets away from the catcher, coming all the way down the first base line as Robinson scores and ties this game at 1 run apiece with 2 down in the top of the 5th inning.
That was a weird play. The ball hit Robinson as he came around. But that's in play, and that's just a nice piece of hitting by Ford right there.
He advances over to second base on the errant throw from the left fielder Palacios. And this game is tied. Game number 40 of 44 on the Cape League season, and Hyannis making it count as they try and inch closer towards the Wareham Gateman. Chris Proctor's 0 for 2, stands at the left-hand side with Ford Proctor in scoring position on second base. The lefty deals. Called strike 1 on the changeup over the inner half. 0-1 count to Proctor. Another Proctor out at second base, no relation, except that Harbor Hawks blue and orange, the 0-1. High heat swing and a miss from Proctor. Chris down in an 0-2 hole. And a 2-out rally hanging in the balance here from Doran Park. 1-1 is the score off of the RBI single from Ford Proctor. He stands on second after advancing on an errant throw. The 0-2. Clubbed high in the air again out to left center field, chasing Palacios back to the wall, and the left fielder ranges to the track, makes the catch, retiring Chris Proctor for the third time of the game to end an inning for the third time of the game. And get this, Chris, all of them F7s to Richie Palacios in the left center field gap.
That's crazy, but he's hit the ball very hard all 3 times, too. It's just not some tough luck.
Wrong place, wrong time, and a 2-out rally for the Harbor Hawks killed, but not before they can even this game at 1 run apiece. 2 hits and an error bring that run across. And after the out, Hyannis brings this into the bottom of the 5th inning, where Chris Walker will take over play-by-play with Andrew Freejay, Richard Palacios, and Jameson Hanna due up on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network.
Well, we go to the bottom of the 5th, all tied up at 1 from Doran Park in Bourne. I'm Chris Walker alongside Chris Lucy, and to start it off for Bourne, it'll be Andrew Freejay. Freejay just getting his second at bat. He's 1 for 1 with a single and a stolen base as well. He'll face Tyler Vaughn, who's out for his 5th inning of work. He has not allowed more than 1 run in either of his 2 starts. Only allowed 1 run in 9 innings pitched to this point. Very good stuff, and he's putting together a good performance. He's off the hook for the loss as of now, and it's 1-0 to Freejay. It's a pitch missed low.
Where still get it's the no decision, and really deserving.
1-0 is on the outside corner. Now it's even 1-1, and yeah, he's very deserving of a win in this game. Both starts he's had exceptionally good stuff. The changeup's been outstanding today. Here comes the 1-1. It's grounded foul towards the Braves dugout. And it's 1-2.
And Chris, both the starts that Vaughn has had this season have really come in big spots, as his first win snapped an 8-game winless streak for the Harbor Hawks back at McKeon Park against the Brewster Whitecaps.
This one popped up straight up in the air. Nobody can find it. Russo, the first baseman over there, Ford Proctor comes over and bobbles it, but holds on for the catch. That ball was popped up so high that everybody lost it in the sun, but it's the first out. And that scored an F6. If you don't know what we're talking about when we say F6 or F7, that's a pop out to somewhere. The numbers are first base is 3, second is 4, short is 6, third is 5, and the outfield from left to right 7, 8, and 9 in case they're confused. And the catcher's 2 and the pitcher's 1. And this is Ricky Palacios taking a pitch for a ball 1-0.
We've seen a peculiar, I'm sorry.
Here's a ground ball towards second while Chris figures out how to say that word, and now it's 2 away. Are you trying to say peculiar?
Peculiar, yes. I don't know
Peculiar.
what has my tongue tied there, but we've seen a peculiar amount of flyouts to the infield today, as I was trying to spit out.
That's a tough word. Peculiar is a
peculiar. Yeah, you got it down though. First try.
It's just the luck of the draw, I suppose. Here's Jameson Hanna with 2 outs. Vaughn has been very good in this inning in particular. He's on the first 2 men out. Pitch missed to Hanna, who's 1 for 2 on the day. And here's the 1-0. Fouled off behind everybody, and now it's 1-1. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. It's a real nice night here in Bourne. It's not as disgusting outside as it was yesterday at home. This one is grounded, fouled on the first baseline, and it's 1-2.
Grounded over to Russo, who's having a big night in front of the folks, getting that first hit. There was good luck charm, Chris.
I guess so.
Was in need of a good luck charm. He'd really had a tough spell luck-wise as he was ripping the cover off the ball, but just to all the wrong places.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Vaughn is through 5 innings with only 1 run allowed. He's looked very good. Another 1, 2, 3, and we'll head to the 6th. Tied at 1 between the Braves and the Harbor Hawks on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. We're back on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. The new pitcher for Bourne is Jack Nelson, not on their active roster that we got, but he takes over for Eli Krause, who went 5 innings and gave up 1 run. He's going to face off against Trejo, Russo, and DiCaprio. Trejo with 2 strikeouts tonight in 2 at-bats. And the first pitch is swung on and missed, 0-1.
And Chris was able to gather some numbers on Nelson from his season for Boston College. 37 1/3 innings pitched, 2.41 ERA.
Pitch misses low there, and now it's 1-1.
Mixing in 26 strikeouts in that time as well.
Braves and Harbor Hawks tied at 1. Top of the 6th. That's a pitch in the dirt, and now it's 2-1. Harbor Hawks trying to score the go-ahead run here. That would be huge if they could win. Last time I checked, Wareham was losing. Top of the 7th inning now. It's 5-4. Wareham at bat, but trailing by 1. It's 3-1 now on Trejo. And here's Nelson's pitch. Grounded foul towards the dugout of Bourne, and now it's a full count.
Odd enough time to make your CCBL debut tonight, this late in the season. I mean, 40 games in. What took them so long, right?
Better late than never. The team's going to the playoffs. Full count. Here's the pitch. It's inside, and Trejo walks. Leadoff walk. Harbor Hawks are set up. Thomas Russo now up. He's 1 for 2 at his first hit as a Harbor Hawk. In his last at-bat, he'd like to hit the ball harder this time.
Just a bit. Had an infield hit, though. He'll take it.
Squares around the bunt, pitches high, and it's 1-0.
And you get a lot of guys coming in around this time making debuts in odd places because, you know, teams just get so worn down at this part of the season. You have guys that have played full college seasons, then coming out, and between the college season and here, some of these guys are in well upwards of 100 games, so arms start to get tired. Guys are on the phone with their college coaches saying maybe they should shut it down. And a college coach is always going to err on the side of caution, especially with summer ball, especially after a guy maybe has thrown 30 innings or more with a summer league team, or maybe gotten 100 or so more at bats with a summer league team.
Russo getting instruction from Chad Gaspin, the manager. 1-0 count. He squares around and pulls back again. Pitch missed high, and it's 2-0.
And the Wareham Gatemen have pulled ahead 6-5, Chris.
Imagine that. Against Orleans.
Wow.
Top of the 7th inning. Wow, that's huge. That's huge for everything.
It's bad news for Hyannis.
Yes.
I mean, that 4th playoff spot in the West still very much so up for grabs, but Wareham holding on for dear life.
With the Harbor Hawks playing better in this game, getting it tied. That's the last thing they want to hear. Sacrifice fly scored the run. Here's the pitch. It's a bunt fouled on the third baseline, and now the count is 2-1. But you know what happened last night? Wareham took a lead like they did tonight, gave it up, and they started to come back at the end, but they couldn't do it. They lost 7-4. But here, 6 runs in Orleans, Chris.
And it's not easy to win at Eldridge Park. The Hard Rocks have done it, but it wasn't an easy game, as Micah Bertel had to have as good of an outing as he's had all season for the Hawks to knock down that win.
Right, that was, I believe, a Sandlin relief appearance and a trip and a Weiss one, and this one's bunted beautifully down the third baseline. Fielding as Fitzgerald throws across in time, but that's a perfect bunt by Russo, and there's a runner on second with 1 away for Dom DiCaprio.
Bravo to Russo right there. He's putting on a show for his family members. He's had a good day down at first base, as well as handling the stick pretty well.
Well, DiCaprio's 0 for 1. He's walked today and has a chance to drive in the go-ahead run in the top of the 6th. Both teams with 1 run on 5 hits, and the Braves are ahead 1-0 in the error category.
And Thomas Russo able to execute a sacrifice bunt.
Pitch to DiCaprio is in for a called strike, 0-1.
Russo executing those sacrifice bunts in consecutive games, as he also was able to do so last night.
Nelson in a little bit of trouble here. Pitch is hit out into center field. Hanna back on it, close to the wall, makes the play. Tagging is Trejo. Here comes the throw. It's cut off, and DiCaprio moves the runner over to third, but there are 2 outs.
That was a close one for Dom. He thought he'd have his home run last night as he hit one very, very deep into the recesses of McKeon Park later on in the game. And Chris looked like he almost had it there. It's about 395 feet out to center, so that's well gone at McKeon Park.
No, he's seeing the ball better, definitely, is Dom. Couple of F8s tonight and a walk. Another guy that's seeing the ball well is Chris Proctor, and he's hitting it hard. He's just hitting it right at the left fielder, Palacios, every time.
You don't give that a sac fly for Dom? He did advance the runner.
No sac fly. No run scored. This one hit out in to center field. It's a base hit for Hampton. Scoring is Trejo. Hampton rounds first. He's heading to second. The throw is not in time. It's a double for Reese Hampton. An RBI double, and the Harbor Hawks are up 2-1.
Absolutely huge right there for Hampton. Team leader in hits. Racking up another one right there. Breaking an 0-for-3 streak in this game and putting Hyannis out front in what is a crucial game.
Now here's Hunter Stovall, who's 1 for 3. With a chance to extend the lead for Hyannis. Nelson giving up the go-ahead run here in the 6th. The pitch is high. 1-0 to Hunter. And Trejo, the leadoff walk, scores again.
That was Reese Hampton's 9th double of the season, too. Also leads the team in 2 baggers.
The pitch is inside, and it's 2-0. No, Reese, he's 1 for 4 tonight, but no hit bigger than that one for this team this season to give them a lead, especially with Wareham winning. They have to keep pace. Here's the 2-0. That's high and outside, and now it's 3-0 to Stovall. And the runner goes, and he's safe. Wow. I looked down to write it in my book, and boom, Reese Hampton standing at third.
That was out of nowhere. I think Reese might have just, I don't know, you might have just tried to sneak in there between pitches, but very, very risky play from Reese Hampton. Luckily, it worked out for the Harbor Hawks.
3-0 is inside, and it's a walk to Hunter Stovall. The second walk of the inning by Nelson. And there are 2 on and 2 out for Tyler Frank. This is a big spot.
And this game is unraveling for Jack Nelson in his CCBL debut. I mean, welcome to the league. You give up a lead in a crucial Western Division game, and now you're in jeopardy of even putting the Harbor Hawks even further ahead, as there's a runner on third base. There's 2 down regardless, but still runners on the corners makes this a very, very sticky situation for the Bourne Braves.
Right, you lose your starter Kraus after 5 innings and 87 pitches, and reliever comes in and he's not doing his job right now. He's allowed a run and a couple of walks and a double. And now let's see.
There's Harvey Shapiro.
Will we see a pitching change from Shapiro?
No sign yet. I do see a pitcher getting loose.
Yeah, there it is.
In the bullpen.
And here's a lefty coming in the game for Bourne with 2 outs and runners on the corners. We'll go to a quick break, come back. It's 2-1 Hyannis. They scored the go-ahead run this inning. We'll be back in a moment on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. The new pitcher for Bourne is Ryan Simpler, number 19 out of East Tennessee State. Comes in with a 1.93 ERA. This will be his 4th appearance, 4 2/3 innings. 5 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, 1 strikeout. He comes on first and third, 2 outs. Harbor Hawks trying to extend their 2-1 lead. Here's the first pitch. It one's hit out in the right center field. This gets down. It's trouble. It gets to the wall and goes all the way to it. Scoring from second is Hampton. Rounding third is Stovall. He will score. Moving to third with a triple is Tyler Frank. It is 4-1 Hyannis.
What a knock from Tyler Frank right there, completely catching the outfielders in a lull and stretching it 3 bases. That was a giant hit for the Harbor Hawks, and one that they needed desperately as they stretch out this lead and now keep their fingers crossed and hope Wareham can't keep the lead they have down at Eldridge Park.
Here's Daniel Robinson, fouls one off. And it was kind of funny because I turned around after we went to break, and Dylan and I were talking, and we were both like, first pitch is going to right field. And boom, 2-run score on the first pitch to Frank. So here's Robinson. He's 1 for 2. He hits this one in the left field. If it's fair, it's trouble. It is a foul ball at the last second. That looked fair, but third base umpire Ron Adams saw it better than we did.
And third base coach Chad Gassman was incredulous that as hard as he was waving his arms, he could not redirect that ball fair. He was eyeballing that thing all the way through, and for good reason, of course, but just a little late on the swing was Robinson.
And here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Ball's in the dirt, and the tag applied. And that's the final out of the inning. But the Harbor Hawks score 3 runs and take a 4-1 lead over Bourne. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th, where Bourne will try to cut into the deficit. Back on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network in a moment. We're back on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 4-1 Hyannis over Bourne. It's Lynn, Witherspoon, and Schreiber for Bourne against Tyler Vaughn, back for his 6th inning of work. Called strike there to Lynn. Can't really see the bullpen for Hyannis, but we'll keep an eye on it. Here's a ground ball to third. Tyler Frank's going to have a long throw, but he makes a good one, and there's the first out. Lynn 1 for 3.
I have a pretty good view of the bullpen, Chris. It looks like Hyannis has one arm getting loose, another few just stretching right now, but nothing else really doing out there, as looks like, at least for the time being, this is Vaughn's game.
Brent Witherspoon is 0 for 2. Steps in here in the lefty batter's box. The first pitch is outside for a ball, 1-0. And good for Vaughn. He deserves it. He absolutely deserves to be out there. 1-0 is chopped out in the shallow center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. 1-out single for Witherspoon. And with 1 out, that brings up Scott Schreiber.
Another thing that Vaughn is very deserving of right now is the win in this game. He's off the hook for the no decision, as he was on the hook for the loss for a while too. So right now, if the result can hold, Vaughn will get his 2nd win of the season and really just come in clutch once again for Hyannis.
Schreiber's 0 for 2. They throw over to first. Getting back in time is Witherspoon. Pitch is grounded foul down the third baseline. And it's 0-1.
Time call. Tyler Frank is the one responsible for retrieving the foul ball well into left field. Got to hustle out there.
The only time I've actually experienced that in a softball game. I was playing, the ball went out of play. They ran out of softballs. I had to run out. I was in left field that game, and I had to run all the way down and get the ball down the hill.
Oh, gosh. Where was that? Where was that game?
That was in Brookfield, Connecticut.
Nice.
0-1, swing and a miss. And it's 0-2 on Schreiber.
Bourne looking very comfortable out there with Don DiCaprio behind the plate, who I think really has improved his defense as a catcher this season before our very eyes.
Pitch is called, strike 3, and there are 2 outs. Vaughn continues to deal here in the 6th.
And Exhibit A right there, a beautiful frame from Don DiCaprio. It was a no-doubt strike, but he was able just to move it a little bit over to make that curveball look like it caught even more of the plate. And it's the subtle frame jobs, I think, Chris, that really make the difference for catchers and pitchers alike, because an umpire, I think, really, a good umpire can sniff out those kind of obvious adjustments.
Right. I agree with you totally. Here's Zach Susi, who's 1 for 2. He swings and misses there. No, it's 0-1. Vaughn looking about as good as anybody we've seen for Hyannis. Tomorrow is going to be a fun one. I'll tell you about it in a minute. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Tomorrow is a game at noon against Cotuit. A noon start at home at McKeon Park. It's going to throw everybody off. It's going to be an early start. And hopefully a Harbor Hawks win. Wareham does have a game tomorrow, too. Not every team is playing. Only 6 teams are playing tomorrow. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. And the runner was going, but it doesn't matter. That's the final out of the 6th. No runs on 1 hit. 2 strikeouts, though, by Vaughn of the Braves. And he's looking so good through 6 innings. And we'll head to the 7th. 4-1 Hyannis on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. We're back on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Walker alongside you with special guest, our scout, Joe Bilkowski. Hello, Joe.
How's it going?
It's going well. So now it's time to get nervous, right? Because now you got to talk on the air after trying to make me laugh the whole game.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's not so easy. Ford Proctor, Chris Proctor, and Cesar Trejo will hit this inning. Now, there goes Ford. He's been hit by 2 pitches, so that's probably why he got to the on-deck circle slow.
I know.
He's got a single as well.
Both of those pitches hit in the back, too, as well.
He was not happy after that second one. So Simpler is back out for the 7th. There's a swing and a miss at a breaking ball, and it's 0-1. So Joe does a ton of stuff for this team. He tells me how fast all the guys are throwing. He tells me what they're throwing. And how has Vaughn looked tonight? I mean, with his stuff, where has he been?
Vaughn's been anywhere from 87 to 90 miles per hour on that fastball. The 2-seamer looks pretty good. It runs a lot off the plate. His changeup's been his go-to pitch.
This one's hit out in the right field, and that's caught by Witherspoon. There's one away. But, yeah, his changeup's really been working tonight.
His changeup's been 77 to 79 miles per hour. He's got a lot of movement, drops off at the end.
It's good. He looks as good as we've seen, obviously, through 6. And I think he comes out for the 7th. Personally, there's a couple of guys. Is Tripp in a bullpen? 73 pitches for Vaughn to this point. He is certainly dealing. And here's Chris Proctor, takes a pitch low for a ball, 1-0. He's 0 for 3 with 3 flyouts to left field with men on base. So maybe with nobody on, he can make something happen. So what do you think of this season so far, Joe?
It's been a great season up here. I'm enjoying it, enjoying my time meeting all different scouts.
Do you think this team's making the playoffs?
We hope so. Isn't that why we're here?
Absolutely. No, I couldn't have said it any better myself.
But with Wareham winning and us winning, it doesn't help.
No, I know. And it's amazing because Wareham has lost 7 in a row coming into this game. And now, as this one's grounded towards second, for EJ Fields and Fires, there are 2 away. And now with their 7-game losing streak and the Harbor Hawks finally winning a game, now Wareham goes and is winning a game against Orleans
of all teams.
In Orleans. Chris Lucy's running back as fast as he can. Comes back with his sweatshirt. I stole Joe for a minute. He's talking about Vaughn. There's Chris. Cesar Trejo up now. Proctor 0 for 4. But again, the goal at the end of the day is to make the playoffs.
Sure is.
As there's a swing and a miss by Trejo. It's 0-1. Trejo's 0 for 2 with a walk.
Yeah, right now it's bottom 8, 6-5 Wareham over Orleans.
My goodness. Orleans on the right of the scoreboard.
Yeah,
Orleans Firebirds. 0-1, swing and a miss. It's 0-2. I'll tell you one reason I like Bourne. Because the fans actually care about what we're doing. Very, very cool. Exactly. Got all our buddies out here. There's a swing and a miss. Trejo down on strikes. The throw to first in time after the drop. 3rd strike. Goes a strikeout on a 2-3. 1, 2, 3 go the Harbor Hawks. In the 7th, we will get up and stretch as we head to the bottom of the 7th.
Vaughn's done for the day.
Vaughn is done for the day. We'll take a quick break on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. And when we come back, we'll see a new pitcher. Be right back in a moment.
What do I
Hello, everybody. Chris Walker, Chris Lucy, and our new friend, Danny Collard, bringing it to you live from Doran Park.
Hello.
Danny, what's going on?
Not much.
So, what are you doing at the game today? Who are you rooting for? I'm not going to like this answer, I'm sure.
The Braves.
The
Bourne
Braves. Now, you've got a Falmouth hat on, though. Explain that.
So my friend just invited me to come here.
Mhm.
So I
But
just
you
came.
but you root for Falmouth
Yeah.
normally.
mostly.
All right. Very
Yeah.
cool.
I root for a winning team.
There you go. Oh, that's a shot at the Harbor Hawks. I'm sorry. There's a ground ball to first base. It gets over the
Let's
head.
go.
There you go. He's coming on the Harbor Hawks broadcast and rooting for the Braves. I see how it is. My goodness. It's a single for Fitzgerald. And the new pitcher is Ryan Weiss for the Harbor Hawks, by the way. He comes in only able to throw this inning and one more. He's on a 25-inning limit. And for the Harbor Hawks, that's going to be a big loss. They need to save him after this for their biggest game of the season, whatever that may be. And that's probably tomorrow against Cotuit. So hopefully he can throw in that game. Cotuit is ahead of the Harbor Hawks right now, and Wareham winning ahead of the Harbor Hawks right now. And here's Anthony Prado, the 8-hitter.
Wait, my friend's from Cotuit.
You got a lot of friends up here.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from Falmouth.
You're
so-
from Falmouth. There you go.
Well, I'm from Wellesley, but I live in Falmouth
There
in
you
the
go.
summer. So
Massachusetts through and through. Love it.
yes.
You like the Cape. You must like the Cape.
Yes.
Who doesn't,
You
right?
can't go wrong with the Cape.
No. 1-0 pitch is a check swing. I would have checked down, but they don't. And it's 1-1 to Prado. Prado's 1 for 2 today. He's got a stolen base. He scored the only run for Bourne.
Bad.
Yes, for you it is.
Yeah.
But they got a runner on second and nobody out. And
Yeah.
that pitch misses low, and it's now 2-1.
There's a runner in scoring position.
That's right. Now, how old are you, Danny?
I just turned 9.
And do you play baseball?
Yes, I play for Little League, but
Very good.
we lost in the championship to a team we could have beat, so that's upsetting.
Oh,
But hey, you made it, right?
Yeah.
What position do you play?
We like play all around, but I play some outfield, some third base, and second.
Or let me ask this differently. What's your favorite position?
When the ball comes to me in outfield, but mostly third, I would say.
Third base is tough. That's a tough position.
That's it. You have to make the throw from there to there. Third to first.
It's a long throw.
Yeah.
Yep.
Prado ahead 3-1 on Weiss here. In Bourne, 4-1 Hyannis. And we're keeping a close eye on that Wareham score. They've gone to the 9th inning, I'm hearing. Still 6-5. Leadoff single for Wareham of all teams. And that's a walk right now to Prado.
No, what if he gets on base and they hit a grand slam? That would be sick.
For who?
For me.
For Bourne you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, then I'd have to kick you off because
Oh.
then you're bringing him good luck. I'm just
Oh.
kidding. So with that walk, Ray Corn comes to the mound, and Danny's friends are loving it back there.
Yeah.
Who'd you bring with you today?
I brought Reese, Lang, and my brother Ben. So, quite a crew.
Which one's your brother Ben?
Ben?
There you go. He's got he's the other one with the Falmouth hat on.
Yeah.
Falmouth is playing Cotuit right now.
Really?
Yes.
Who's winning?
I do not know.
I'll give that a look. See if I'm good for something here. I got the scores loading up. And I noticed you got some signatures on the underbill of your hat. Do you remember who signed your cap?
I think, it was just like the bullpen. So,
Oh, that's nice.
yeah.
Falmouth is a great team this year, and they are knotted at 2 with Cotuit in the top of the 10th inning.
Wow, extra innings.
Oh, I want whatchamacallit? I want their catcher. He had a grand slam in the game I went to. They had a walk off.
That would be cool for Falmouth.
Yeah, that would.
That would help out Hyannis. Falmouth is too far ahead of Hyannis for them to
Yeah.
catch.
They're never gonna catch up.
But Cotuit is within striking distance for Hyannis. So Hyannis needs a Cotuit loss. Here's a bunt laid down. Weiss is going to throw over to first in time.
That's annoying.
That's the first out. And it's a good sacrifice bunt, though, because the runners move to second and third with only one out.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing I don't get that you are a Falmouth fan who wants Bourne to win, while Falmouth only leads Bourne by 1 point for the Western Division title.
Oh well, I just guess I'm a bandwagon.
Okay.
He's a bandwagon
You said it,
fan.
not me. I respect that, though.
That's great. Here's Ricky Palacios. He's 0 for 3. At least you're honest.
Yeah.
You got to be honest, right?
Yes.
I like it. Now, what did the Harbor Hawks do to you to
Uh,
make you not want to root for them?
Well, I don't like Hawks.
Oh,
so-
okay.
Mm.
But you like Commodores, right?
yeah, I like Commodore.
This one blew towards second. It's going to get a run in. The throw to first is in time.
Whoa!
There you go.
In your face.
So you trade an out for a run, and now with 2 outs, as Danny cheers, it's 4-2. You got to do that. You got to do the tomahawk chop. That's one of the coolest things in this league. So here's Jamison Hannah, 1 for 3 today. It's 4-2 Harbor Hawks now, and a runner in third. Hannah's the tying run right now. And Weiss having an uncharacteristically iffy inning, Chris.
Seriously, yeah. I don't know what it's really been for him. He allowed that single, and then the walk to Prado just kind of opened things up with the sacrifice bunt. And, you know, he just got behind himself a little early in this inning, and it's come back to bite him.
The 1-0 is grounded towards first. A fair ball. Russo takes it himself and makes the play for the final out of the inning. But the Braves get 1 in the bottom of the 7th, and we'll head to the 8th. There you go.
It.
Thank you so much, Danny, for being on our broadcast. It's
Okay.
Danny Collard,
And call me the Danimal.
the Danimal.
Yeah.
That's what he wants to be called. There
I
you
think I got
go.
there too. Nice.
And wait, I need to make a dramatic exit.
All right,
Ready?
go ahead.
Okay.
Danny out.
There you go. Well, that's it. We're taking a break. We're back on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network as we head to the 8th inning. The Harbor Hawks will plate Russo, DiCaprio, and Hampton. That one was foul. And the new pitcher is Sean Leland for Bourne. And Sean Leland is quite a pitcher for this team, a 3.0 ERA. This is his 10th appearance, 17 strikeouts, only 4 walks, Chris.
Coming out of a great ball program down at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, one of the premier programs of the Big Ten.
Here's the pitch, 1-1. Chris, I must correct you. It's still simpler out there on the mound.
Still simpler out there?
That's correct. Number 19.
I could have swore that was an 8.
Here's the 2-1 fouled off, and it's 2-2.
My apologies, everybody. That was on me.
Russo 1 for 2 in the game with a sac bunt.
Come on, Thomas.
And here's the pitch, 2-2, grounded towards first. Over is Schreiber, has it, steps on the bag, 1 away. 3 unassisted, and there's 1 out. That will send Dom DiCaprio up. Dom 0 for 2 with a walk.
Almost left the yard earlier today with that absolutely ripping fly ball, just about 390 feet out.
There's a first pitch strike, and it's 0-1. Here is the 0-1 from Simpler. Foul tipped into the glove of Susie. And it's 0-2 as Joe, our scout, who was on the air, is throwing seeds at me. I just nearly caught one.
Dill pickle seeds at that. I don't know about that.
Pitch is in the dirt. Oh, the dill pickle ones are the best ones.
I guess I should knock
Besides
it till I try it.
original.
I'm just an original guy through and through. I can't knock it till I try it, I guess, but I don't know. Something about it throws me off.
They're good. They're good. They're good to suck on.
Mm.
There's the sweet and spicy ones he's got too, which are good. The sweet and spicy are one of my favorite.
My
Pitch
goodness.
misses 2-2.
Joe came prepared today, as always.
That's why he's a scout. He's already moving up in the world. You gotta love it. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and there's 2 away. DiCaprio down on strikes. He's 0 for 3 now, and lineup will turn over again for Reese Hampton.
Reese with that huge double in the top of the 6th inning. Got the Harbor Hawks offense going. Looks to do so again.
This is a bunt towards the pitcher, but the catcher Susie fields and fires. It goes past everybody. Hampton's going to go around first and head to second base. The throw will not be even nearly close to in time. In fact, it goes to third base. So Hampton reaches. We'll see how they score it. We will see what they do here. It's a hit. So a hit and an advance on an error. It's Reese's second hit of the day. I have news. There's a runner on third, one out in the bottom of the 9th. Orleans up at bat. Their last ups, they have 2 outs left. This is a tense situation. Wareham 2 outs away from winning a game against Orleans. First pitch to Stovall. Hit Susie in the chest. He didn't catch it with the glove, and it's – what did they call that, a strike?
No
they
idea.
call it a ball.
Yeah. But Susie just kind of going out to the mound to say my bad out to Simpler, as he was likely messed up on the sign there.
Here's the 0-1. Pitch is popped up. Foul out of play, first base side, and now it is 0-2. It was 0-1. I believe they called the first pitch a strike.
Now they've changed it, yeah. It was an odd play.
0-2 pitch, and time called. 2 strikes on the batter with a man on third and 1 out in Orleans. That's how big of a game this is.
Huge implications in that one for the Harbor Hawks.
2 outs now. Wareham 1 out away from snapping a 7-game losing streak. Now this one hit out into center. Hannah under it makes the play. Well hit by Hunter, but right at Hannah. For the third out, no runs on 1 hit, 1 left on. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Bourne down by 2. It's 4-2. By the time we come back, we might have a final in Orleans. We'll let you know about that on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. We're back on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network with some sad news for Harbor Hawks fans. Wareham has defeated Orleans 6-5 to snap a 7-game losing streak. And for the time being, they are back 4 points ahead of the Harbor Hawks in the standings. This game's still going on. But this is that's a tough win or lose for Hyannis. That's tough. Wareham winning a game in Orleans.
Very, very rough for the Harbor Hawks there. It's the bed you make when you kind of lose control of your own destiny, but it's equally crushing to hear.
Ryan Weiss is back out for his second and what is most likely his final inning for the Harbor Hawks this year. He's at that limit.
25 innings coming into the season, and here he is in inning number 25.
Here's the 0-1. Check swing, and going around is Lyle Lynn. It's 0-2. Lynn, Witherspoon, and Schreiber due up. Bourne only down by 2. Harbor Hawks need to hang on to this. They can control this game. They can't control what Wareham does. They can keep the pace. You know, you don't want to lose this game. You fall behind and lose this game and stay 4 points out. That's not good.
Especially with Katuitt coming tomorrow, a team that Hyannis is with a losing record against.
0-2 fouled off barely, but staying alive is Lynn. Lynn is 1 for 3 today.
And that's what the Harbor Hawks, oddly enough, are against the Katuitt Cavaliers. 1-3-1.
That tie game was crazy.
Absolutely ridiculous. A 9-9 tie ended by darkness.
0-2 count. Pitch is hit out in the shallow right field. 3 players converging. Trejo's got it, though. Makes the play 1 away. And Weiss needs to make the most out of this inning here, for sure. He's got 2 outs left before he hits that limit.
Chris, I think the thing I'll miss most about Weiss has got to be that 95-mile-per-hour heater he's got in his back pocket.
He throws hard. He certainly does.
Hardest thrower on the Hawks, easily.
Scout Joe, how hard's he throwing right now? 94. There's a called strike to Grant Witherspoon, who's 1 for 3. So he's right around the mid-90s.
Got a nice little changeup, too.
0-1 count. Swing and a miss. Foul tipped into the glove of DiCaprio, and it's 0-2. You got to imagine that Tripp might pitch the 9th.
Shut the door. He's leading the team in saves.
Time called. The last second by Witherspoon.
We did see Tripp last night, though. However, only for an inning, so may still be in play. It's a big game.
Here's the pitch. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. And it's 1-2.
Witherspoon just kind of held the bat where it was for a while, trying to plead his case silently there.
1-2 pitch on the way from Weiss. It's grounded towards the hole between third and short, and making the play is Proctor, but he fell down after, and it's a 1-out hit for Witherspoon, his second of the day. He's 2 for 4.
Again, another play where Ford Proctor showed off a good deal of giddy-up getting into the hole for that, but the grass gave way below him, and down he goes.
So that brings up Scott Schreiber, who's 0 for 3. He's had a rough day. 2 strikeouts, both looking, and a ground out. Runner on first and 1 out. The tying run at the plate for Bourne. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss at the off-speed pitch, and it's 0-1.
Schreiber getting his last chance at the Harbor Hawks, so he's trying to make it count. He's knocked in 7 runs against Hyannis this season. Any more would create some trouble for the Harbor Hawks right now.
Throw over to first. Getting back in time is Witherspoon. Throw over again. Imagine that, Wareham winning. I can't believe that.
It's tough news for Harbor Hawks fans.
0-1 count. Swing and a miss on the off speed, and it's 0-2. Good breaking pitch.
And that's one of the things that makes Weiss so deadly is that complementing that fastball, his secondary to third pitches are phenomenal too with the change and also the curve like you saw there.
Throw over once again. He's got a good move as well to first base.
Not bad for a righty.
Oh-2 on the way. Breaking ball. Check swing. He did not go. And it's 1-2.
Our scout Joe saying that Weiss is sitting around 92 to 94 in this last inning of work for the Harbor Hawks. Trying to end things with a strikeout.
1-2 count. Here's the pitch. Grounded just fouled on the third base line. And we will do it again, 1-2. Schreiber just getting a tiny piece.
Schreiber looking for a little bit of revenge against Thomas Russo. Russo, playing for Holy Cross this year, was a part of the Crusaders team that knocked the Cornhuskers out of the NCAA regional down in Corvallis.
Indirectly getting back at him, I guess, if he gets a hit here. It's 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And there are 2 away. And that's the hat trick for Schreiber. 3 strikeouts in the game.
Dropping him to 0 for 4. Harbor Hawks getting the last laugh against him and what quite possibly could be the last time they see him this season.
There's a good chance if the Harbor Hawks do make the playoffs, however, that it will be against Bourne.
That is true, but
we got to get there first. And
exactly.
Wareham prevented us from getting any closer tonight. With only 4 games left tonight, the Harbor Hawks need a win to keep pace. Here's Zach Susi, 1 for 3 on the day with a man on base and 2 outs. Takes a called strike. It's 0-1.
Gateman playing a very high-stakes game of keep away right now with the Harbor Hawks. They hold Hyannis' playoff hopes in their hands.
0-1 count. Runner goes. It's fouled off. And the count is 0-2 on Susi, the catcher.
An all-star this year.
Only 2 players, Chris, on this Bourne team without a hit. Palacios does not have a hit, and Schreiber does not have a hit.
Out of character for the Bourne Braves.
0-2 pitch. Grounded just foul behind home plate, and it remains 0-2.
I mean, if there's anybody who's made strides this season for the Braves, it's Palacios. When we came to him earlier this season, he wasn't really doing much. He was below 200, but since then, he's brought himself out of the dirges with 31 hits coming into this game, batting .274 too. Really someone who's progressed nicely.
And he represents the tying run for Bourne right now. In the bottom of the 8th, 4-2 Hyannis. The 0-2 pitch is chopped just foul towards the dugout of Bourne. Everybody's all right. It stays 0-2.
Look out, Tyler Fitzgerald. That almost hit him in the on-deck circle.
Now it's getting pretty dark here, and it's cooling off a little bit, but it was a nice day today. Very, very nice. Felt a little bit more like summer.
Yesterday was autumn, to say the least.
0-2 pitch. Just outside, and the count is 1-2. That's the beauty of getting so far ahead that even if you miss with one, you're still way ahead.
Weiss has been working from ahead most of this season, to say the least.
1-2 count. Runner goes. Pitch is outside. The throw is not in time. Stolen base for Witherspoon. And the count is 2-2.
Nice move right there from Witherspoon. Stealing his 10th base of the season, leading the Bourne Braves by a good deal.
Weiss with a 2-2 count. On Zach Susi, who's 1 for 3. Man on second, 2 outs, time called. And the umpire, no, and DiCaprio's mask falls off. That was that was weird.
Tom might need to get that on a little bit tighter. Masks are supposed to be at least kind of skin tight there, just to keep your head in place.
2-2 pitch is low, and the count is full.
I mean, Chris, when you have that mask not on quite tight enough, that's where you start to see more head injuries come into play, as the mask, when you keep it tight, it doesn't kind of create a second impact to your head, while if it's loose, you get the mask impact and then the ball impact too.
3-2 pitch is grounded foul off the leg of Susie, and it remains full. Oh, tell me about it. I've gotten hit a couple times in the head by a hockey puck, and my mask was not tight enough. it certainly hurts. And it certainly hurts when Susie hits himself on the leg with the ball.
He's trying to walk it off right now. He's got a dead leg. Look at that. Bad dead leg.
Count still full.
Looks like it's the front step foot that really is causing him trouble, which is important because you got to kind of get a nice little bend in that.
Right, it's the right leg. He fell right off the foot. He'll be fine, and he'll have a swing here.
Draws a round of applause.
Big pitch here in this game. Weiss with one out left before he hits that limit. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And if Weiss is in fact done, he finishes with 2 strikeouts and a great outing, and he leaves the Harbor Hawks in good hands, hopefully with Tripp or somebody else coming out of the bullpen in the 9th. We'll head to the 9th. The Harbor Hawks have a chance to extend their lead on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. We're back on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. And for the Harbor Hawks, they'll play Tyler Frank, Daniel Robinson, and Ford Proctor in the inning. And it's going to be against Ryan Simpler again. Now, for another inning of work, Frank had a single and a triple in this game. He's had quite a night again. He's making a case for player of the game.
We'll have that interview on our SoundCloud after the game, where you can catch highlights, amongst other things. Throw us a follow on YouTube while you're at it, and you'll get a notification every time our broadcasts go live.
Pitch is low in the dirt, 1-0 to Frank.
Subscribe button is just below the Hyannis Harbor Hawks little logo you see on your screen right now.
1-0 count. Pitch, broken bat, pop up towards the left field side of things. Palacios over, makes the play one away. That was a big chunk of the bat, and it went right towards Fitzgerald.
That was terrifying right there. When you see that much wood flying through the air, it really, really kind of rattles you.
So that brings up Daniel Robinson, who's 1 for 3 as a stolen base today. Frank goes and gets the rest of his bat.
Oddly enough, Chris, D-Rob has reached base 3 times today on his single, the walk, and also the E4, where he came around to score.
First pitch is grounded foul, first base side towards the dugout of Hyannis, 0-1.
That run he scored tied the game for a while before Harbor Hawks the Harbor Hawks bats were able to break it open in the 6th.
Oh, 1 is a called strike, and it's 0-2.
D-Rob has to be careful here.
Pitch is low, 1-2. And for the Harbor Hawks, this is a big inning because they're only up by 2. They'd like a more comfortable lead than that going into the bottom of the 9th in a game they absolutely have to win because Wareham won. I mean, they don't technically have to. They wouldn't be knocked out of the playoffs if they don't win. It would just be very, very hard. It'll be a lot easier if they can win one and stay on pace, only 2 points back. The 1-2 is swung on and missed by Robinson. He's tagged out, and there are 2 away. That's the second K of the day for Robinson.
Tough go for Robinson there, but Chris, you're right. And the bottom third of this order for the Braves is pretty good. They have 3 hits and just about 7 at bats as our intern Joe is starting to get a little bit daring, throwing things at us here in the booth.
Ford Proctor's up now. Here comes the first pitch of the at-bat. Popped up. Foul territory down the left field line. Nobody's going to get there. It's out of play.
I just ripped a sunflower seed right off of Joe's glasses.
You threw it off of his glasses?
Yeah, I got to rip it right down to him.
Joe, how fast was that throw? No, Lucy's throw that hit your glasses.
Upper 90s, easily.
28 miles an hour.
He has a natural aptitude for it. Doesn't even need the gun.
He's sitting in the 26 to 28 range.
Yeah, my seed throws.
0-2 is grounded foul, and it's 0-2. Now, what's your name? Your Reese? Reese just said, we don't sound like 2 robots broadcasting a game. That's the goal. That is the goal all the time. I'm glad I'm not a robot. Here's the 0-2 up high, and it's 1-2. Because at the end of the day, we're up here to have fun.
Exactly.
Above all, to get better and have fun.
Exactly. Fun to watch the Hawks win, too. They got a nice lead here.
1-2 pitch on the way to Ford. And here's the pitch. Grounded towards first. That's going to be a tough play. Schreiber underhands to the pitcher Simpler, and he steps on the bag just in time for the final out of the top of the 9th. 3 outs left for Bourne. They need 2 runs. Can they do it? Well, you'll have to wait and find out. We'll be back on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network in just a moment. We're back on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Last chance for Bourne in the bottom of the 9th. Christian Tripp, the team's closer, will come in to hopefully finish this one out for the Harbor Hawks. The Harbor Hawks. I'm from Boston now, the Harbor Hawks. Here's Tyler Fitzgerald to lead it off. He's 1 for 3 in the game. Bourne needs 2 to tie, 3 to win in the bottom of the 9th. Tripp is about as good as it gets. The ERA he has is more inflated than it should be because of one bad outing against YD. And there's a called strike to Fitzgerald. But Tripp comes in with a 3.00 ERA. He's so much better than that ERA.
Seriously is.
Again, he gave up, 5 runs against YD? And then his ERA was 1.00 before that game. So he's lowered it down from 3.73 to 3. So you could just see how good of a pitcher he is.
Yeah, he really has just been dominant. Leads the team in saves with 3, and he can get his 4th right here.
0-2 count here on Fitzgerald. Tripp deals just off the plate outside, and it's 1-2.
Tripp comes in relief of Ryan Weiss, who wrote himself somewhat of an anticlimactic goodbye with the earned run in 2 innings pitched, but still only 1 walk in that time, and it's been great.
This one is hit out into left field. Pretty deep. Robinson had to reach out with the glove to make the play, and there is 1 out. Hyannis 2 outs away from a big win here in Bourne and sweeping the home and home.
Would be a huge win for the Harbor Hawks here, and they're about 2 outs away from getting it, although they're not going to gain any ground on the Wareham Gatemen, who won tonight. They still stay in the hunt and set themselves up for their final stretch.
Here's the first pitch to Prado, and there's a strike.
Get to it tomorrow, Chris, is going to be a huge one.
Less than 24 hours from now. It's a 12 noon game. 0-1 swing and a miss, and Prado's down 0-2. That's the biggest game of the season already, win or lose for Hyannis tonight.
Honestly, Chris, every game as it comes at this point right now, as long as the Hawks still have a glimmer of hope, every game really becomes the biggest game of the season.
0-2. They check down the first base line. He does not go on. So after tomorrow against Katuitt, we play Harwich, and then we have a home and home with Falmouth to close it out. It's not going to be an easy one. We got Falmouth fans behind us. We need to win those games. 1-2 is poked out towards second base. First baseman Russo's got it, throws on the Tripp. Not in time. It's a 1-out single in the infield for Prado. There goes the tomahawk chop. The tying run comes to the plate, and Andrew Freejay for Bourne.
Now that seems a little bit like jumping the gun right there. You get an infield single with an out in the 9th, and you throw on the tomahawk chop music.
Yeah, that's appropriate. They got the
waste.
tying run at the plate, Chris. They 1 swing away from a 4-4 ball game.
We've heard that tomahawk chop when they put runs on the board. They haven't put anything up yet, if they will put anything up in the 9th here.
First pitch, Freejay tried to tie it right there, but he swings through when he's 0-1 the count, and he's 1 for 2 on the day at a sacrifice in the 7th, an F6, and a single stolen base as well. I like that tomahawk chop. Here's the 0-1. Popped up. That's going to be our ball right there. If that it's just going to miss me. The kids are on it, but I'll tell you what, if I were sitting where Chris Lucy's sitting, I would have been back there. Butterfingers got it. Oh, Degnan got it, huh? Degnan's gotten like 5 foul balls tonight, our bat boy. That's outstanding.
Post brother of Don DiCaprio, too.
See, all the fans here don't like him because he gets 17 foul balls a game. I'm in the same boat as you guys. They checked down the first baseline. He went around 2 away. Freejay down on strikes. And Ricky Palacios will come on as, again, the tying run, but with 2 away in the bottom of the 9th.
Well, hey, Butterfingers lost his chance to be the first kid to get on air this season as Danny beat him to the pitch.
No, he didn't want it. He didn't want it. I offered him a churro and YD. He didn't want it. It's fine. He said if we made the playoffs, he'll come on the broadcast. 2 outs. Here's Tripp against Palacios, the leadoff hitter. There's a called strike. It's 0-1. Palacios 0 for 4, one of 2 starters for Bourne without a hit today. 0-1 count. And here's the pitch. That's in the dirt. Nice scoop by DiCaprio. It's 1-1. Again, 4-2 Harbor Hawks over the Braves.
Tripp, thankfully, no innings limit on him.
1-1 count. Pitch is hit out in the left field and deep. Robinson goes over and makes the play for the final out of this game. A 4-2 Hyannis win in a game they absolutely had to win to keep pace with Wareham, who beat Orleans. And they stay within 2 points of Wareham for that final playoff spot.
Chris, you can't understate it. This game, even before Wareham was able to take the win, was a must-win for Hyannis. And once Wareham shocked pretty much the whole league by taking that win against the Orleans Firebirds, they couldn't lose. Any loss with a Wareham win right now essentially eliminates Hyannis from playoff contention. And, you know, it's going to be a tight balancing act for the rest of the season, just trying to keep above water with Wareham finally snapping that prolonged losing streak that they have.
Well, we'll take a break, talk about player of the game, and figure out what we're going to talk about in the post-game show. We'll be right back, Chris and Chris, on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Back on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network, Chris Walker and Chris Lucy for the post-game show. And it was a good day for the Harbor Hawks. They win 4-2. The unfortunate part of this is that Wareham also won 6-5 in Orleans, so the Harbor Hawks don't gain any ground. It doesn't hurt to win games, though, for the Harbor Hawks. They've won 2 games in a row. They play a big game tomorrow against Cotuit. But first things first, Tyler Vaughn was very good in this game, Chris.
Absolutely excellent, Chris. When you get right down to it, 6 innings pitched, only 4 hits spread across those. Allowed a run. It was unearned, however, and struck out 3 over that 6-inning stretch, allowing no walks. Chris, I honestly had a very tough time deciding between him and Tyler Frank, who had himself a great game as well with the single and then the triple, driving in 2 runs on that triple to eventually be the difference maker between the Harbor Hawks and Braves in this 4-2 Hyannis win. But Hyannis doesn't even get there without Tyler Vaughn, so he's my player of the game.
We'll go get that interview with Vaughn. I know they get out quick on us sometimes, so make sure you get that interview in. But once again, Tyler Frank with a triple. It wouldn't have gotten done without him. A 2-ribby triple for Tyler Frank. I would have picked him player of the game by myself if it were just me, but Chris Lucy got to pick tonight, you know. But the final score here from Bourne is 4-2 Hyannis. We're back tomorrow at noon. Don't think we're at 6 tomorrow. If you think we're playing at 6, the game's going to be over. Noon start at home against the Cotuit Kettleers. And before we go, a
This is,
special guest. This is
Ozzy the Osprey right here.
Ozzy the Osprey making a pinch hitting appearance.
Uh,
David, our intern. What's up, Dave?
Not much. Just want to again remind the fans. See you guys at noon tomorrow.
That's right. And Ozzy will be there. Well, he will be there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he'll be there.
He'll be there.
Good. We'll see everybody, and everybody that comes to the ballpark. We'll see Ozzy tomorrow. He does that T-shirt toss. You got to love the T-shirt toss. I tried to participate in it once, but it didn't work. I didn't get a T-shirt. It's all good. We'll see you tomorrow at home against Cotuit. We'll be on the air starting at 11:50 a.m. That's right. Wake up early, including ourselves. Wake up early, get to the ballpark, get your butt down there, and turn us on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. For Chris Lucy and Danny and David and Joe and Dylan, I'm Chris Walker. So long from Doran Park and Bourne.